Welcome to the fantasy audiobook, Beast Girl, starting with a contract with the school beauty's mother. Chapter 61. As the sun sets, the sky is dyed a brilliant orange-red, and large patches of sunset glow spread out like a dream, like a painting carefully drawn by an artist. In the square in the center of the town, the particle flow sprayed by the fountain looks even more beautiful in the air. Under the fountain, Cheng is holding teacher Mu's slender waist, and Mu Yunxi is taking pictures of the two of them. Okay, it's my turn. This doesn't look like a competition at all, it's clearly a family of three traveling. Teacher Mu looked at Fang Cheng and smiled, thinking that his daughter wanted to take a photo with him, but when Mu Yunxi came, she pushed her away from the middle. Mom, take a photo of me and this guy too. Teacher Mu was stunned for a moment, then smiled, walked over, picked up the bracelet, pointed it at the two people under the fountain and smiled. Are you ready? All right. Mu Yunxi made a scissor hand gesture. All right, quickly send it over so I can see it. Mu Yunxi opened the photo and her cheeks puffed up, like a cute pufferfish, her eyebrows slightly frowned, with a hint of anger in her eyes, and she snorted with a hint of anger. She seemed angry, but more of a playful and cute look. Fang Cheng took a photo with her, but his eyes were looking elsewhere. This could not be said to be perfunctory, it was simply ignoring her existence. Hey, you are so disrespectful, aren't you? What happened? Fang Cheng came back to his senses, looking puzzled. Look for yourself. Fang Cheng took a look, the corners of his mouth slightly raised, outlining a slightly cunning arc. I'm sorry I was distracted just now, and why didn't you call me? Well, I think you did it on purpose. What can make you look like this? Fang Cheng pointed to the distance and said, look for yourself. Mu Yunxi looked in the direction he pointed and saw a group of students coming back. Why did they go back to the square? Because all the hotels in the town were full, they could only set up tents in the square. Those students looked depressed, just like a funeral procession, and some of them were carrying simple stretchers. What happened to them? Mu Yunxi asked curiously. If I'm not mistaken, it must have been robbed. Robbed? Mu Yunxi was surprised. Fang Cheng smiled and said, what's so strange about this? There is no rule in the competition that you can't steal points. You can do anything as long as it is not prohibited by law. Don't you know? After saying that, Fang Cheng ignored the girl and came to Mu Yao. Teacher Mu, let's go back. Mu Yunxi caught up from behind. Fang Cheng, didn't you say that we have to wait 2 days before this kind of thing will happen? Well, I didn't expect that. For example, the E-level players, their strength is not as good as the top but better than the bottom. If they go to grab with the D-level or C-level people, then they will become prey, so they have to go in advance, grab it and run away. Mu Yunxi looked back at the students again, with a trace of pity in her eyes, and turned to the other party to say, what are you going to do? You and my mother are also E-level, right? Fang Cheng smiled slightly and did not answer. I am different from your mother who is at level E. Let's put it this way. Fang Cheng has not been idle these 2 days. When he was walking around the town, he also looked at all the people in the town, including the 20 mercenaries hired by Shen Tujun. He found that although he and Mu Yao were not at the highest level, no one could compare with them in terms of personal attributes. There was only one reason. Looking around, there was not even a SS level talent. How could he compare with X talents? It must be said that Yuchang is really a small place. Of course, high attributes do not necessarily mean strong combat effectiveness. The real combat effectiveness can only be known when fighting. However, attributes are the foundation of a person. The foundation is like that. No matter how strong it is, it will not be too outrageous. At night, in Fang Cheng and Mu Yao's room, an explosion, 2 rays of light appeared, and from outside the house it looked like someone was welding inside. Mu Yunxi's eyes lit up, they really advanced. She was so excited that she subconsciously ran over, but she suddenly stopped at the door. Forget it, let's wait until they come out, it's late at night, it's not good to let mosquitoes in. The moon was full in the night sky, and Mu Yunxi returned to her room with melancholy. When will I have my own Beastmaster? Thinking of Fang Cheng, he was a classmate of hers, and now he is already a D-level Beastmaster, while she is still in the F level. Fang Cheng is too powerful, is he still in need of a beast mother? Thinking of this, her face suddenly turned red to her ears, her eyes wandered around in panic, and suddenly she held her cheeks and said, "Oh, what the hell am I thinking about? He is his mother's beastmaster. How can there be two people to be his beast mothers? Besides, with my talent, that kid may not be interested, so don't humiliate yourself." The morning sun shone through the gaps in the curtains. In the soft light, Teacher Mew stood in front of the sink, brushing her teeth seriously. She lowered her head slightly, and her long black hair fell like a waterfall, swaying gently with her movements. Fang Cheng walked over gently with a doting smile on his face. He slowly hugged this fascinating big sister from behind and gently rested his chin on her shoulder. Miu Yao was stunned for a moment, then a sweet smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. She continued to brush her teeth, with foam in her mouth, and hummed indistinctly. Fang Cheng hugged her tightly, feeling her warmth, and gently placed his hands on her waist. Then Fang Cheng blinked at the two people in the mirror and opened the delusion-breaking spirit eye. Beast Girl, Miu Yao. Owner, Fang Cheng. Age, 36. Rank, D. Upgrade progress, 0%. Strength, 975. Agility, 1920. Essence, 2825. Vitality, 3735. Max energy, 1620. Beast form, X level Sky Abyss Giant Spirit Wood Spirit. Beast transformation ability, X level Wood. Growth talent, 10 stars. Skills, Thorn Entanglement level 2, Healing level 1. Loyalty, 100. Feedback ratio, 100%. Taming value, 0.04. Life countdown, 146,105 days. Name, Fang Cheng. Beast Girl, Miu Yao. Age, 18. Rank, D. Upgrade progress, 0%. Strength, 2,790. Agility, 2,850. Essence, 1935. Vitality, 1980. Max energy, 918. Beast taming talent, X level. Ability, B level lightning. Skills, Crazy Sword Skills Great Mastery Lightning Flash Great Mastery Thunder Slash Great Mastery. Beast Girl bonus, Fast recovery, Wood power bonus 25% not activated. Life countdown, 146,105 days. Looking at the information of the two, Fang Cheng showed a bitter smile. The taming value of the next level doubled. Fortunately, the taming value can be shared, otherwise, once there are too many beast girls, even an iron rod will have to be ground into a needle. However, seeing the life countdown of the two, Teacher Mew is worthy of being a life-type beast girl. After the upgrade, the lifespan of the two doubled directly to 400 years old, which has reached the sea level and has surplus. Miu Yao washed her toothbrush in the cup, turned around and looked at Fang Cheng and smiled. "Honey, aren't you going to wash up? Yao Yao, don't you want to give your beastmaster a good morning kiss?" Miu Yao gently kissed his lips, feeling as light as a dragonfly touching the water, but full of deep attachment. Then she quickly left and looked at Fang Cheng, with a shy blush on her face, and they smiled at each other. Fang Cheng came over and wanted to do it again, but Miu Yao pressed his mouth with her slender fingers and smiled. "Don't be naughty, Xiaoxi is waiting for us to have breakfast." In a blink of an eye, it was the fourth day of the competition, and Fang Cheng strolled to the town square again. As students withdrew one after another, the square became more empty, but some students still stayed. First, it was because of the competition mechanism. If the points were snatched by the same person, only 50% could be snatched at a time, and the cooldown time was 1 day. That is to say, most of these students still had points that had not been snatched away. Second, they were unwilling to accept it. Some may have the expectations of their families, some may want to prove themselves, and some may have been respected as class leaders or student union leaders among students before, and they felt embarrassed to leave in such a humiliated way. Fang Cheng came here today to recruit people to form a team. Of course, he would not accept the last kind of people. They are students, and Fang Cheng is also a student now. When they learned that Fang Cheng, a student, was actually a D-level beastmaster, everyone was shocked. "We all graduated together, and we haven't even brushed the taming value yet. Why did he become a D-level beastmaster? Are you really a D-level beastmaster?" Fang Cheng didn't say anything when asked. He just took out his number plate and put it on the terminal in the square. His basic information was displayed. Contestant Fang Cheng from number 11 middle school, age, 18, level, D, beast mother, beast form thorn deer, points, 0. He really is a D-level beast tamer. The farce at the opening ceremony of the City Youth Tournament a few days ago is still vivid in everyone's mind, so everyone also knows that he has been specially recruited by the Lingqi Guild outside the 3 major guilds, and his talent is SS level. Of course, this talent was reported by Tang Li. At that time, he was still an E-level beast tamer. I didn't expect that after only 4 days, he has already become a D-level. Are SS level talents so awesome? After a commotion in the crowd, someone asked, how come your points were also taken away? Fang Cheng shook his head. My points have always been 0. You didn't go hunting outside the city. Then how did you level up? Fang Cheng smiled and said, leveling up doesn't depend on killing monsters. Star crystals are enough. Then you really leave me speechless. No, where do you get so many star crystals? I heard that you have been specially recruited by the Lingqi Guild. Are all your star crystals given by the guild? Don't you think it's ridiculous for a D-level beastmaster like you? Fang Cheng took a look at the young boy in the crowd who had nasolabial folds on his mouth. This guy must be the president of the student union. He always had a stern face in front of his classmates, acting like a big shot, so he had nasolabial folds at such a young age. Of course I earned my star crystals myself. When we were in the contract training. Ridiculous, the contract training was only for more than a month, how could you have earned so many star crystals? Fang Cheng shook his head. Facts speak louder than words, let me show you something else. After saying that, Fang Cheng took out his Beastmaster badge and placed it on the terminal in the square. Fang Cheng's record of brushing dungeons during this period of time was also displayed in front of everyone. 6 SSS level and F level dungeons cleared, solo, 76 SSS level and D level dungeons cleared, solo. Of course, there are also A level and S level clearance evaluations, but people often only see the most surprising ones. My God, when we were still in training, that guy had already gone to play a dungeon alone, and his clearance rating was SSS level. No wonder he was specially recruited by the Lingqi Guild. He is really a tough guy. Are all SS level talents so awesome? Then wouldn't people with SSS level talents be extremely awesome? Fortunately, there are not many people like them, otherwise I would have wanted to die. At this time, someone in the crowd suddenly said, you showed us these today, are you just to show off how good you are in front of us? After talking for so long, someone finally asked the point. Fang Cheng smiled lightly. Of course not, I came here today to ask you, are you willing to just take away the points like this? Willing? Nonsense, those who are willing have left, and those who are left now are unwilling to accept it, is there any need to ask? Fang Cheng continued. Do you want to follow me to take it back? Take it back. Hearing this, many people in the crowd were tempted. They certainly couldn't take it back by themselves, but with Fang Cheng leading them, he is a D-level beastmaster, and he has an unattainable record. I dare not say anything else, but it should be no problem to take points from E-level beastmasters. However, at this time, the young man with nasolabial folds on his mouth suddenly sneered, take it back. Who do you think you are? Do you think you are invincible here as a D-level? Fang Cheng frowned. You cannot go, is there anyone willing to go with me? Don't be fooled by him. The young man suddenly raised his hands and said loudly, this guy never thought about going out of the city to compete for points from the beginning, but he jumped out at this time and wanted to take everyone to rob. Don't you think there is a problem? Fang Cheng guessed correctly. This guy is the president of the student union of the number 2 middle school in the city, named He Gang. According to his own words, he is admired by thousands of people in their number 2 middle school. Today, Fang Cheng suddenly jumped out and wanted to lead everyone to grab points. This is undoubtedly a slap in his face and a provocation to his prestige in the hearts of everyone. To put it bluntly, he has no ability and can't stand others having ability. If Fang Cheng really pulls all these people away, wouldn't he be a commander without troops? As the president of the student union, he is used to being flattered by others. How could he have suffered such humiliation? When everyone was whispering, Fang Cheng said, because I knew early on that all your previous hunts were working for others, and this competition is not a hunting competition, but a competition for points. He Gang suddenly pointed at Fang Cheng and laughed, ha ha ha, everyone heard it. This guy really had it planned. If he didn't have it planned, why didn't he tell us earlier? If I told you this early in the morning, would you believe it? If you don't tell us, how do you know we won't believe it? If you believe it, you can be robbed again and again, and finally be robbed of everything without even your underwear left. Fang Cheng's words made He Gang's face turn red, but he was angry. This was the first time in his student life that a student dared to contradict him, the boss. He Gang gnashed his teeth in anger. Facing Fang Cheng, who was stronger than him, he was helpless. What do you mean by, you? You are incapable of doing anything but always capable of causing trouble. Get out of here. Seeing that this guy was so angry that he was out of breath, Fang Cheng was too lazy to pay attention to this idiot. He then said to everyone, I have told you the truth now. This is a points competition. Speaking of the original points, it was you who created them, but the winner will not thank you. On the contrary, he will call you a bunch of poor worms. If you have the guts, stand up and grab with me. This is not to prove how great we are. We just want to fight for our pride and let everyone know that no matter who steals our things, we will definitely be able to get them back. We are definitely not a bunch of poor worms. At this time, someone stood up and asked, after saying so much, how sure are you? Only 50%. I will fight you. How confident are you? Fang Cheng said with a slight smile. I said I can lead you to win first place, do you believe it? Not to mention you, even I don't believe it myself, but what I want to say is that we have the advantage in numbers, we are the largest group in this competition. We can't beat 1 against 1, 10 against 1, or 100 against 1. Of course, if you want to win first place in this competition, I don't think that's possible. But when you came to participate in the competition, did you think you wanted to win first place? You should want to get a good grade, add more points to the college entrance examination, and get into a good university in the future, right? So my goal is to lead you to do something that is glorious even if you lose. In a game, it is not only the winner who deserves to stand in the light and be remembered by everyone. A group of people who have backbone and dare to fight and fight can still stand in the light and enjoy everyone's praise. Besides, we are just a group of newly graduated students. Isn't it normal to fail? But even if we lose, we must lose in a heart-wrenching way, so that everyone will remember our unyielding attitude and let everyone know that we have a promising future. In this way, how can you get less extra points in the college entrance examination? To put it bluntly, Fang Cheng is just painting a big picture. To paint this big picture well, in Fang Cheng's opinion, first, people must be willing to listen to him. This is what Fang Cheng said to Mu Yunxi before, respect Luo Shan first and then respect others. Regardless of whether it will succeed or not, you must first dress yourself up decently, so that others will respect you before you open your mouth. The second is to circle the crowd. This is why Fang Cheng did not come until the 4th day even though some people were robbed starting from the 2nd day. What he wanted was to let those who had no fighting spirit and ambition leave first. People with fighting spirit and ambition are often more easily bewitched. The third is inducement. It is unrealistic to let them take the first place, but even if we take a step back, letting them get extra points in the college entrance examination is still possible, and this is what they need most urgently at the moment. After he finished speaking, the crowd fell silent, but Fang Cheng was not worried at all. Instead, he was full of confidence. Sure enough, after a moment, someone stood up and said, I'll go with you. I'll try my best to believe you once. I decided to take a gamble with you. As the volunteers stepped forward one by one, more than 100 people finally gathered around Fang Cheng. Although it was less than a quarter of the number of people present, it was enough to be his first batch of original employees. Then Fang Cheng divided these people into 10 teams. One reason was to facilitate management, and the other was because of the rules of the competition. The same person could only rob once a day. In this way, the original 1 team was divided into 10 teams. Once a fat sheep was caught, it could be fleeced 10 times in a row. At the same time, Fang Cheng took advantage of a loophole in the rules and became the captain of the 10 teams. In this way, no matter which team fleeced the sheep, he could get a share. As for the share, Fang Cheng took 20% alone, and the remaining 80% was divided equally among the remaining dozen people. Take out the player number plate, register the team on the competition terminal, set the share ratio, and once points are obtained, the system will automatically transfer each person's points to your account. President He, do you think they can do it? The speaker was Luo Junbo, the former secretary of the Student Union of No. 2 Middle School. He watched from afar as Fang Cheng and everyone gathered in front of the terminal with a look of great enthusiasm. It would be a lie to say that he was not envious. To be honest, if it weren't for He Gang, he would have wanted to join them. He Gang glanced at him and said, "A bunch of trash can't amount to anything. Xiao Luo, if you want to go, just go." No, President He, you misunderstood. What I mean is, if this is feasible, since Fang Cheng can lead them to do it, as the president of our student union, why can't you do it? He Gang's eyes lit up. Yes, why didn't I think of it? Subconsciously looking at Fang Cheng who was talking in the crowd, He Gang narrowed his eyes slightly. According to him, their advantage lies in the number of people. What matters is not the ability, but the organizational ability of the leader. Although I am not as talented as that kid, I have been the president of the student union for many years. Moreover, I heard that before the awakening of his talent, that kid was a waste in school. He was not even a small class monitor. In terms of organizational ability, he is not even worthy of carrying my shoes. Thinking of this, He Gang's confidence increased greatly. Looking at Luo Junbo, a smile appeared on his face. He patted him on the shoulder and said in a mature manner, "Xiao Luo, it seems that my training you over the years has not been in vain. You can always enlighten me at the critical moment." Luo Junbo immediately said with a flattering face, No, this is all because of the president's training." Speaking of which, He Gang's organizational ability is really not to be underestimated. He immediately organized all the remaining people, a total of more than 400 people, 4 times the number of Fang Cheng's team. So he waved his hand, and the first student corps in the history of the city youth competition was established. He served as the corps commander, and Luo Junbo and several other officers were deputy corps commanders. The crowd suddenly erupted in excited cheers. Fang Cheng heard it, subconsciously took a look, and asked in confusion, "What are they doing?" "I don't know." "Never mind. Captain, go on." "Lin Zhong, your beast girl is AB level lava scorpion, right?" "Yes, I haven't told you how you knew that yet. It's easy. I can tell with my vision-breaking spiritual eyes. Not only do I know her beast form, I also know her initial skill, which is lava ray, right?" Lin Zhong nodded. "Yes, but the first level lava shot is not very powerful." Fang Cheng smiled and said, "Who said that? You think it is not powerful, that's because you don't know how to use it." "Can't use it?" Everyone looked at Fang Cheng in surprise. How could this be possible? "Captain, you haven't participated in the contract training, you don't know. During the training, the instructors have given special instructions according to each person's characteristics, how could they not use it?" Mu Yunxi also nodded subconsciously, and then looked at Fang Cheng with a worried face, worried that he would blow his own trumpet. "Fang Cheng, why don't you think about it carefully? This is not what you meant." Fang Cheng said, "Just listen to me first." Then he looked at another person beside him and said, "Fan Bing, your beast form is Crystal Frost Butterfly, and the initial skill is Ice Ray, right?" "That's right, so what?" "Yes, so what?" Everyone looked at Fang Cheng in confusion. Fang Cheng said, "Have you ever thought about letting these two rays with opposite properties collide with each other?" Fan Bing and Lin Zhong suddenly showed strange expressions on their faces. Only Lin Zhong smiled and said, "Hey, Captain, I thought you would say something, it turned out to be this. The instructors have said it long ago, when two rays with opposite properties collide with each other, the stronger side will win. If the strength of both sides is equal, the rays will cancel each other out." "Really? Have you tried it yourself? Is it the same as what the instructor said?" "I haven't done that, but since the instructor said so, the result must be right." "I don't believe it. How about we try outside the city? It will also open my eyes." "Okay, let's give it a try." So a group of people ran out of the town. Mu Yunxi followed Fang Cheng and hesitated to speak several times. She was really worried that Fang Cheng would make a fool of himself. Teacher Mu was full of confidence. As Fang Cheng's beast girl, she had 100% trust in all of Fang Cheng's decisions. Everyone came out of the town, and both sides set up their positions and prepared to conduct a bombardment test. Fang Cheng felt that such a bombardment was too dangerous, so he decided to let the two beast girls aim at one place to avoid hurting each other in case of a bombardment. Everyone thought it made sense, so the two beast girls aimed at a boulder 20 meters away. It was about 20 or 30 tons. Under normal circumstances, the ice ray fired by Fan Bing's beast girl could only leave a piece of frost on it at most, and the lava ray fired by Lin Yang's beast girl might not happen when it hits it. But this time, when the rays of the beast girls met the boulder, a violent explosion occurred. The exploding rubble smashed everyone 20 meters away, leaving them with bruises and swellings. But no one cried out in pain. After the explosion, everyone looked intently at the boulder. At least 3/4 of the boulder was blown away without a trace. How could this happen? Everyone was stunned. At this time, Fang Chungkai walked out from behind the crowd leisurely. Everyone was bruised and swollen, but he had hidden away early and nothing happened. It seems that my guess was correct. Captain, what is going on? The rays they emit are pure energy, not physical objects. If they are physical objects, the situation you mentioned may occur, canceling each other out. But if it is energy, the two mixed together will become extremely unstable, and explosion is the inevitable result. At the same time in the City Lord City, Yu Jianming looked at Fang Cheng and his face changed. This kid is good, I thought he just had a good heart, but I didn't expect that he has such a high level of comprehension. At this age, he has realized the knowledge of compound tactics. Zhou Zhanyang on the side laughed and said, "What's the big deal, didn't the military know it a long time ago? Can this be the same? The military's composite tactics originated from an accident. Later, on this basis, they conducted many years of research to form the current composite tactics. And Fang Cheng, this kid, figured it out simply by his comprehension." Zhou Zhanyang laughed. The better Fang Cheng performed, the happier he was. By the way, do you think that kid's plan will work? Yu Jianming thought for a while and said, if it's just like he said, let people see the performance of these students and add a lot of points in the college entrance examination, I think there is no problem. But if he wants to use these students to get him a good grade, I think it's hanging. After all, they are just a group of F-level students. What can they do if there are more people? How can they fight against those C-level teams if their foundation is too weak? Back outside the town, after listening to Fang Cheng's explanation, everyone was not surprised, but more surprised. Is it necessary to have such a big gap between people? When everyone was at F level, it was fine for you to be promoted to D level, but now in terms of understanding of beast girls and combat experience, you were even better than the instructor. I was harmed by the instructor. If I had known that two energies with opposite properties would produce a more powerful explosion when intertwined, my points might not have been robbed. While being surprised and regretful, everyone's conviction in Fang Cheng also reached a new height. Next, Fang Cheng divided everyone into combat groups and planned combat plans based on this. Outside the crowd, Mu Yunxi looked at Fang Cheng who was talking in the crowd, and her eyes gradually became obsessed and admiring. At this time, in her eyes, the sun fell on Fang Cheng. He stood there, with an upright and unrestrained posture, and a hearty and infectious voice. Clear and passionate, exuding a unique charm, made people around him attracted by his words and listened attentively. The sunny smile on his face seemed to dispel all the haze. See, this is what makes my mother fascinated by Xiao Fang. The sudden voice startled Mu Yunxi, and she subconsciously pulled the hair by her ear. What? I wasn't looking at him just now. Is that so? Teacher Mu said with a smile, then why are you blushing? I'm sorry you misunderstood me. Really, then do you want to be his beast girl? Okay. After she finished speaking, she realized that she had let the cat out of the bag, and quickly covered it up. What I mean is, with such an excellent beastmaster like him, who wouldn't want to be his beast girl? So do you want to? Mu Yunxi hesitated, and after a moment she asked, Mom, do you mind? You girl, don't get the wrong idea. I mean to let you share my taming value, let Xiao Fang be your master, and help you level up. It's not the kind of relationship you think. Besides, with your talent, if you want to sign an intermediate contract with Xiao Fang, he may not be interested in you. I thought that was all you were talking about. I thought you were ahead. Teacher Mu used her finger to touch Mu Yunshi's head and said unhappily, "Don't forget, I am your mother." Mom, you are so lucky. Teacher Mu smiled slightly. I often think so too. Meeting Xiao Fang in my life is definitely my greatest luck in this life. Mu Yunshi sighed and said in her heart, yes, my daughter is a little jealous of my good luck. On Fang Cheng's side, after establishing a communication group with everyone, he dispersed everyone and the hunt began. For the first time in the history of the City Youth Tournament, the hunt from low level to high level was launched. But for Fang Cheng, these people are actually the hunting dogs he released. After all, the entire arena is more than 1,000 square kilometers. How can you improve efficiency without raising more dogs? Of course, whether you can hunt in the end depends on yourself, at least in the early stage, it is definitely like this. You have to use one victory after another to build confidence for everyone. Only by making them feel that everyone is possessed by the Emperor of Fighting can they have the possibility of a comeback. What are you guys talking about? You seem so happy. When Teacher Mu saw Fang Cheng coming over alone and everyone else had disappeared, he changed the subject and asked, where are the others? Let them out to find fat sheep. Mu Yunshi asked doubtfully, so you are using them? What is the use of words? We are cooperating and benefiting each other, okay. They are responsible for finding prey, and we are responsible for hunting. It's that simple. You misunderstood. I don't mean to blame you. Besides, if a person can be used, it means he still has some value, right? Otherwise, he would be a waste. Fang Cheng was shocked. The sun rose from the west today. This girl was actually speaking for him. He subconsciously put his hand on Mu Yunshi's forehead. She didn't hide. Instead, she looked at Fang Cheng curiously. What's the matter? Are you sick? Mu Yunshi was stunned for a moment, then she reacted, and quickly slapped Fang Cheng's hand away, and said arrogantly, you are sick. You can't tell good from bad. Fang Cheng smiled slightly, it seems that this girl has really changed. At this moment, Fang Cheng's bracelet rang. When he looked up, Fang Cheng was happy. Mu Yunshi looked curious, and came over and said, what's wrong? Found a fat sheep. So fast. There is strength in numbers. After saying this, Fang Cheng's finger swiped from the bracelet to the air, and a holographic map appeared in front of him. Number 2, take cover, and all personnel report your positions. Fang Cheng divided everyone from Team 1 to 10 teams. He is the captain of each team, and each team also has a deputy captain. In order to facilitate command, these 10 deputy captains are numbered from 1 to 10. Number 2 is Sun Feng, the deputy captain of Team 2. As the coordinates of each team were reported to Fang Cheng, red dots appeared on the holographic map. Roughly speaking, they were fan-shaped with his current location in the center and distributed forward. This type of search range is definitely not as wide as a circular one, but after all, it is the first time, and safety is the top priority. The search range is compressed, but the distance between each other is closer, making it easier for each other to take care of each other. Number 2 reports the location and number of fat sheep. 10 blue dots soon appeared on the map. 5 Beastmasters and 5 Beast Girls, their strength is unknown. But those who are still wandering around the town at this time are not that strong. The strong ones have gone deep into the arena to hunt higher level monsters and earn more points. To say that this is a battle for points is just a lie by Fang Cheng. The fight for points is just a side job. There will always be people who go to hunt monsters, and a group of students can only earn so many points. Even if they grab all of them, they may not get more than others. The reason why Fang Cheng lied to them and made the city youth competition so cruel is that there is no boss who doesn't lie to his employees. If he doesn't lie to his employees, how can they be obedient? If they are not obedient, how can they work hard for him? Number 1 and number 3 will approach number 2. After reaching the designated location, number 2 will act as bait to lead the people south, while number 1 and number 3 will be responsible for support. Fang Cheng said as he marked the map and sent it to number 1, 2 and 3. Number 4 to 10, quickly head north to reach the valley. Number 7 and 9, use your expertise to set traps in the valley. I'll be there soon. After saying that, he also copied a map for these teams, and marked the direction from which the prey came in, as well as the approximate area where the traps were set. After doing all this, Fang Cheng looked at Mu Yao and teacher Mu and said, "Let's go, we're off." Mu Yunxi said puzzledly, "More than 100 people, hunting 10 people, there's no need to make such a big fuss, right?" Fang Cheng chuckled and said, "To be honest, your mother and I are enough, but this is their first battle, and we must give them confidence, so it's not an exaggeration to say it." Mu Yunxi nodded as if she understood, but saw that Fang Cheng had already ridden on the thorn deer. Seeing that Mu Yunxi was still in a daze, Mu Yao said, "Come on, Xiaoxi, what are you still doing?" For some reason, seeing his mother become a mount, even if that person was the one he liked, he still felt a little weird in his heart. "No, I can do it myself." After saying that, Mu Yunxi transformed into a cat demon. This was Fang Cheng's opinion. Overall, it looked like a human, but with a cat's head and cat's claws. When it crawled on the ground, it looked like a big orange cat with spikes. Sea-level beast form is the swift cat, and the hidden evolution form is the EX-level sky abyss giant spirit fire spirit. Seeing Fang Cheng was distracted by looking at his own beast form, Mu Yunxi smiled slightly. "Meow, what are you looking at, let's go." After saying that, he exerted force on his limbs and jumped far away. His speed was comparable to Mu Yao's, but I don't know how his endurance was. According to Fang Cheng's plan, number 2 was responsible for luring, and number 1 and number 3 were responsible for support. As a result, when they arrived at the valley, they saw 10 people chasing 30 or 40 people, crying and shouting all the way to this side. Those people's levels were not high, all of them were E-level, and the strongest one had only upgraded 68%. Unfortunately, the group of students they were chasing were even lower, only F-level. The most important thing was probably that they had just come out of the ivory tower and had never seen the world, and they had been beaten up before and had psychological trauma. What Fang Cheng had to do now was to lead them out of the shadow and let them be possessed by the Emperor. Number 7 is ready to activate the trap, and the rest of you are ready to attack. Team 7 is all Earth attributed beast girls. Although they only have the initial skills now, they are still very useful for digging pits or creating swamps. The captain of the team at the bottom of the mountain is already bald at a young age. His beast girl is a white elephant trunk pig. He is riding on the pig's back, holding a knife in his hand and saying with disdain, "A bunch of little fools, you dare to come after me, today I will not let you get skinned alive, I will take your surname." At this moment, the ground in front of them suddenly liquefied and turned into a swamp. The area was not large, but it was just under the feet of each of them. As a result, the pig lost its footing and threw the captain headfirst. The others also fell to the ground. "Paw, paw, paw. What the hell is going on?" They were all stunned because of their carelessness. Who knew what was going on? At this moment, the ground began to solidify rapidly, trapping all of them underground. Such a trap could not trap them, but the time gained was enough for number 1, 2 and 3 to escape. Those who were trapped in the mud were screaming in anger, and they struggled to break free from the mud and soared into the sky like pulling onions in dry land. As a result, as soon as they landed, they were trapped by the overgrown weeds and vines again. At this time, Fang Cheng was no longer polite to them. Everyone beat them to death. One after another, the rays intertwined in the air and exploded in the valley. Although many of them missed, the sound was deafening and deafening. Even if they didn't kill them, they would be stunned. Sure enough, in less than 10 minutes, all the 10 people below were stunned. Then all the beast masters and beast girls came together, and the long-range attackers were responsible for killing them from the outside. Half an hour later, the 10 people were pinned to the ground by more than 100 people. This may sound a bit shameless, but for these students, it greatly boosted their morale and stimulated their bloodiness. In the following period of time, this group of lambs in the past were indeed killed by Fang Cheng was trained to be a vicious wolf. In less than 5 days, everyone in the competition area knew about the appearance of such a group of guys who had no martial ethics. It would be fine if they just fought in a group, but they never fought you head-on, and they always attacked you by surprise. The most hateful thing was that it would be fine if you attacked by surprise, but more than 100 people were divided into 10 teams. Every time a team attacked you, all your points would be taken away by them. The biggest beneficiary was naturally Fang Cheng, because he could take 20% every time. 5 days later, his ranking went from outside the top 5,000 to within the top 500. That morning at the Lingqi Guild, Wu Zhang opened the tournament leaderboard as usual. Oh, Fang Cheng is not bad, he has entered the top 500 today. Wu Zhang pointed at the ranking list and said to Tang Li. Tang Li was also happy. A few days ago, she still thought that Fang Cheng would be a lazy guy in the competition. Unexpectedly, in the past few days, he suddenly became popular and his points rushed up like a rocket. When she woke up this morning, she found that he was already in the top 500. At this rate, it seems that it will not be a problem for him to enter the top 10. I was right about this kid. Even if he participates alone, he can still surprise people. But when he saw Wu Zhang's smug look, he curled his lips and said, "Isn't it just the top 500? He is not even qualified to be broadcast live. What is there to be proud of? Wait until you reach the top 100. At the same time in the city lord's mansion, ever since Fang Cheng led that group of students to victory in the first battle, Zhou Zhanyang's face was full of smiles and he never thanked him. Lao Yu, please open the system quickly and let me see what rank that kid is in now. Yu Jianming said unhappily, there is a ranking list, won't you go and see it? Ever since Fang Cheng and his group of students won the first battle, they have been going smoothly these days, so Zhou Zhanyang, that grandson, would come to him every day to show off. In fact, it's no wonder that Zhou Zhanyang shows off every day, because Fang Cheng gave him a super gift this time. Since the beginning of the city youth competition, looking at the entire dragon country, even in the imperial capital where geniuses are born, students have always played the role of fat sheep in the city youth competition, and they are fattened before being slaughtered. Even if there are outstanding students, they will choose to be strategically submissive, rely on the strong, or recruit a group of mercenaries like Shen Tujun to work alone. Only in this Yucheng City Youth Competition, not only did an outstanding student come out, but this student also brought out a group of wolves from the sheepfold. To put it bluntly, they are a group of students who can snatch points back since the City Youth Competition, and they all entered the top 1,000 one by one. For Zhou Zhanyang, the director of Yucheng Education Department, this was a great fortune. Before this, he thought Fang Cheng was just a dark horse, but he never expected that this dark horse was so powerful that it brought him a group of bad wolves, refreshing the entire history of education in Longguo. Zhou Zhanyang laughed, with a proud look on his face. Looking at the scoreboard, it's all text, it's cold and icy, it's better to watch the live broadcast. Although Yu Jianming was annoyed by his boasting, he still opened the competition system and adjusted Fang Cheng's live broadcast. You may be proud of yourself, but you won't be proud for many days. That kid has already made it into the top 500. He will probably abandon that group of students and work on his own soon. After saying that, he secretly glanced at Zhou Zhanyang, wanting to see what his expression was. Zhou Zhanyang said as a matter of course, "What's so strange about this? A capable person will not be depressed and subordinate to others for a long time, let alone a vigorous young man. From the moment he started to recruit those D-level teams, I knew that the kid was aiming for the first place this time. To put it bluntly, that group of students was just his stepping stone. What he really wanted to recruit were those D-level teams. As the team grew bigger, those students became useless, or even a nuisance. It was only a matter of time before they were kicked out of the team. If he crosses the river and burns the bridge like this, will those students agree?" Zhou Zhanyang laughed and said, "That kid has his own way. Besides, he has brought a group of fat sheep to within 1,000 or even 500. He has done his best. If it were you, would you have the nerve to say that he crosses the river and burns the bridge?" Yu Jianming was speechless for a moment, and then he said, "Anyway, I think that boy did something unkind." "Ungenuine." Zhou Zhanyang smiled coldly. "I think that boy is very authentic. Can't you see that even without that group of students, he can still form his own team? The reason why he started with a group of students is completely to return a favor." "Return a favor? Yes, I gave him a peach and he gave me a plum in return. Aren't you envious?" Yu Jianming was very angry at this, but after thinking carefully, Zhou Zhanyang was right. He helped Fang Cheng to clarify the matter at the meeting, and that boy gave him a fortune. Why didn't I find Fang Cheng earlier, so that Zhou Zhanyang got there first? Anyway, Zhou Zhanyang now looks at Fang Cheng like a mother-in-law looks at her son-in-law, and the more he looks at him, the more satisfied he is. Whether it is his character, wisdom, or talent, he is definitely one in a million. The most important thing is that this boy knows how to be grateful. Such a young man will surely achieve brilliant and amazing achievements in the future. B1-1 area, outside the town. The more than 400 people led by the student union president He Gang are now lying all the way like dead dogs. President He Gang is lying at the end of this team, closest to the town. More than 400 people rushed out screaming at once, which is really scary. Ordinary teams would feel guilty when they meet them, and would subconsciously turn around and run away. But soon these people found that after running for a distance, the people chasing behind were all exhausted, so what was the point of running? Turn around and kill them, and tell you little fools to come out and scare me. Then a miracle happened. The group of students who were almost exhausted saw the people around them, and the people who were beaten more miserably than each other, so they jumped up and they ran faster and faster. It's too dangerous outside, I want to go back to the town. Then a dozen people chased more than 400 people and killed them all the way. They saw the town from a distance, and then they knocked down the last 250 with a knife. He Gang, who was lying on the ground, had actually woken up a long time ago, but he was too embarrassed to see anyone. Why can Fang Cheng fight so well, while I have at least 4 times as many people as him? Why am I struggling and getting beaten every time? I am the president of the student union, who is he? How could I be worse than him? If he is really awesome, why is he not the president of the student union? There must be a skill that I haven't found. Yes, it must be that I haven't found the right skill. Thinking of this, he stood up, cleared his throat and said, "Classmates, we must strengthen our confidence and cheer up. What we are doing is great and glorious. Just think about it. I miss your mother." Luo Junbo, who had been obedient to him, suddenly got up from behind him and kicked him in the butt, knocking him to the ground. "Do you still want us to cheer up and get beaten with you? Haven't we been beaten up enough these days? You fool, I have finally figured it out. You useless piece of shit just has to keep a mouth." These past few days, they were hit on the left cheek and the right cheek, then on the right cheek and then on the left cheek. Anyway, they were hit face to face and beaten coolly. Who the hell can stand this? He Gang looked at Luo Junbo in shock. "Xiao Luo, are you crazy? How dare you kick me? Xiao Luo, you called me Xiao Luo. I'm going to kick you to death today." When He Gang saw this, he quickly got up from the ground and ran, asking for help from the people around him. "What are you guys doing? Can't you see that Xiao Luo has gone crazy? Hurry up and help me stop him." Finally someone stood up, but he didn't go to stop Luo Junbo behind him. Instead, he knocked He Gang down with a sweeping kick, and then stepped on his face. The deep nasolabial folds were full of mud. They had had enough. For 5 days in a row, they were beaten up by this guy every day. Even the most honest people were furious with him now. On this road, dozens of people surrounded him and beat him to death. If they had known earlier, they should have joined Fang Cheng's team. Look how well he is doing now, he is already in the top 1,000. Speaking of which, they were also implicated by Fang Cheng. As Fang Cheng began to kill people everywhere, more and more people knew that a student team had appeared in the arena. They were so numerous that they would rob anyone they saw, and they were ingeniously divided into 10 teams. No matter how many points you have, as long as you meet them, you will rob them all. So the high-level teams were unhappy. Since when did a group of sheep become wolves? They felt their own dignity and were being a serious provocation. So one by one they came back from the periphery to teach this group of rebellious sheep a lesson. If they met Fang Cheng, they would be in big trouble. All the points they had worked so hard to get by hunting monsters outside were taken away by him, leaving nothing even in their underwear. In the end, they were fooled by him and forced to join the team and become corrupt with him. After all, the advantages of such a large-scale military operation are obvious to any fool. Not only can they rob people and gods, but they can also hunt in the areas where monsters gather. The points are still rising. Besides, for those who became poor overnight, what can make them rich faster than taking a ride on Fang Cheng's wind? If they met He Gang, it would be bad luck for He Gang. Once they found out that they were just superficial, they would come back and beat them to death. No wonder Luo Junbo said that they were beaten every day. Shen Tujun, who was besieging the wild boss, heard the news and said in disbelief, "Are you sure the leader of those people is called Fang Cheng?" Shintu Jun and Su Yaki were surprised when they heard the news. Everyone knows that there is strength in numbers, and since the city youth competition, there have been people who think the same way as Fang Cheng. But no one has succeeded, because everyone is selfish, and in the end they will break up because of uneven distribution of spoils. The reason why Fang Cheng succeeded, in addition to his personal charm and organizational ability, the most important thing may be his low starting point. He started from a group of students who were looked down upon. The low starting point means a lot of room for advancement, which always makes people see hope and full of energy. At the same time, a group of students who have just graduated from school have not suffered the beatings of society, and their thoughts are relatively simple. How can they think about whether the distribution of points is fair? As for those who joined later, they all had 0 points when they joined, and the competition time was already halfway through. If they didn't follow him, who else could they follow? Su Yaki opened the scoreboard on the bracelet and found Fang Cheng at the 273rd place. He is already 273rd, this news should be correct. Shen Tujun was mumbling something to himself, looking extremely annoyed and ready to lose control at any time. If this news was true, then there would be at least 100 people around Fang Cheng, not counting the students. Even if he hired mercenaries, there would only be 20 of them. How could he fight against hundreds of them? That fool, why did he always create accidents for him? If I had known earlier, I should have waited at the gate of the town and killed him first. But he was afraid that someone else would take his first place. His father Shen Tuao paid for him to hire mercenaries this time. The main purpose of the 2 mercenaries is to kill Fang Cheng. But Shintu Jun hopes to take this opportunity to win the City Youth Championship, to bring honor to the Shintu family, and to gain extra points in matters such as family inheritance in the future. After all, from his point of view, 20 mercenaries who are willing to sacrifice their lives are enough to kill Fang Cheng hundreds of times, so killing him this time is just a side job. But who knew that before he won the first place, Fang Cheng had already gathered a group of people to protect him, and there were quite a few D-level ones among them, and I heard that there were even C-level ones. I don't know how that kid did it. Why are you scared now? Su Yaki said with disdain. Shen Tujun, who was already angry, glared at her unhappily when he heard her sarcasm. Aren't you afraid? If that fool brings so many people and suddenly kills in front of you, you will be scared to death. Su Yaki knew that Shen Tujun didn't love her at all, but she had the means to make him reluctant to leave her. To put it bluntly, they were using each other. So she didn't mind Shen Tujun's temper at all, but smiled and said, "Wouldn't that be a good deal for you?" Shen Tujun was speechless. Ever since he met this woman, he felt like he was stuck in a quagmire. She was making him more and more addicted. Su Yaki, who had successfully turned the tables, smiled wickedly. Actually, there is a way. Since Fang Cheng can form gangs and find people to give him courage, you can do it too. Yes, it is you. You are the 8th young master of the Shintu family. Who in Yucheng doesn't give you face? Moreover, you are not the only one who wants to kill Fang Cheng in this arena. Have you forgotten that you have allies? Shintu Jun was stunned, and then he suddenly realized, you mean the Shinchi Guild and the Shuangguang Guild? That's right, but who knows if this news is true? Just ask them and you will know. Yes, why didn't I think of that? Shaoqi, you are really my lucky star. Su Yaki laughed. Really? Then tonight, rest assured that you will be satisfied. Are you satisfied or am I satisfied? It must be you, my dear master. Fang Cheng sent all the students back to the town. Although they were all injured, they were all smiling happily. Now they are all in the top 1,000, and some of them are even in the top 500. With such a record, they will definitely have no problem getting into their ideal universities in the next college entrance examination. Fang Cheng, thank you. If you hadn't led us, we would definitely not have achieved such a good result. Fang Cheng smiled slightly. You're welcome. Stay here until the end of the game. Don't rush out to fight with others. If all the points are taken away, won't your previous efforts be in vain? Don't worry, we know our own strengths and weaknesses. Without you, we are nothing but a pile of shit. What's wrong with dog shit? Even if it's dog shit, if someone steps on your head, you have to do a big split. Haha, you're right. Even if it's dog shit, I'll do a big split. Okay, I won't talk nonsense with you anymore. Remember to cherish the present and strive to meet in a bigger arena in the future. Fang Cheng then sent Mu Yunxi back to the Lingqi Guild. Fang Cheng, can't you be kind enough to let me go with you? I promise I won't get in your way. Fang Cheng smiled. Whether it gets in your way or not is an objective question. It's not up to you to decide. You are just a burden now. I'm not afraid that you will hold me back, it's mainly because it's too dangerous right now. Fang Cheng felt that she was lying without thinking, but it didn't matter, after all, she was not Teacher Mu. How could that be? With so many people, you must be invincible. Invincible. Fang Cheng shook his head and smiled bitterly. Xiaoxi, you are still too young. Now these people can fight with me in a favorable situation, but once they encounter a tough enemy, let me tell you, they run faster than anyone else, which is still good. It is not impossible for them to turn against us in the middle of a battle. Mu Yunxi was shocked. Then, if it is so dangerous, don't bring them with you. I will definitely not always bring them with me, but not now. I still need to bring them with me to hunt exotic beasts and earn more points. At least before I enter the top 100, these people are still very useful. And before I enter the top 100, I will not cause the envy of those stubborn people, so it is relatively safe. Mu Yunxi nodded, not quite understanding. Then you must be careful. Don't worry, I will definitely bring Teacher Mu back safe and sound. Mu Yunxi blushed, wanting to say that I'm not talking about this, of course it's also your responsibility to take good care of my mother. Let's go, Teacher Mu, don't keep everyone waiting for too long. Mu Yunxi stood there quietly, watching her mother and Fang Cheng gradually going away. The breeze gently blew her hair, but it couldn't blow away the attachment and reluctance in her eyes. At this moment, she suddenly felt empty in her heart. How great it would be if she could become his beast mother, then she wouldn't have to stand here and watch him leave, but could accompany him all the way. On the way, Teacher Mu thought for a long time, and finally said, Dear, have you ever thought about letting Xiaoxi be your beast mother? Teacher Mu felt that what she said was a bit arrogant, because Xiaoxi's talent was too poor. How could such an excellent beastmaster like Fang Cheng look down on her? Wouldn't it be difficult for Fang Cheng to ask such a question? But just now, when she saw Xiaoxi's lost look, her heart was pinched again. Seeing Fang Cheng silent, Teacher Mu immediately said, It's okay, I'll just ask casually. After all, Xiaoxi's talent is really too poor. Yao. Fang Cheng suddenly interrupted Teacher Mu and said, You want me to sign a primary contract with her, right? Is my request too much? I'm sorry, I promise not to ask again in the future. Teacher Mu lowered her head, rubbing her arms subconsciously, her face full of anxiety and uneasiness. Fang Cheng couldn't help but sigh. Teacher Mu's cautious and worried look really made people feel pity. What a silly woman. Fang Cheng couldn't help but stop, put his arm around her shoulders, looked into her eyes and said, It's not too much. I'm not exaggerating, not at all. It's natural for a mother to think about her daughter. If you don't think so, I'll think you're cold-blooded. Listen to me. After I finish speaking, you can decide whether she wants to sign a contract with me. I know you can make a contract with her, so you are taking my feelings into consideration. How could I not know what is good for me? No matter what you say, I have no problem with it. Really? Fang Cheng smiled lightly. You also know how outrageous the contract between us is, right? You must be wondering, there is no such contract in the textbooks, how did it appear, right? Teacher Mu looked confused. She was indeed very curious, but what does this have to do with Xiaoxi's contract? Fang Cheng continued, Because this is the passive skill I got after awakening my EX level talent. Passive skill, that's right, if you want me to make a contract with Xiaoxi, there is a certain chance that this contract will be triggered. So, what are the chances? I don't know about that either. After all, you are my first beast girl. I have never made a contract with anyone else except you. Ms. Mu was a little embarrassed. It was not because the supreme contract was too binding on Xiaoxi, but because of Xiaoxi and her own identity. Let's go. Fang Cheng took Teacher Mu's hand, as if nothing had happened. Teacher Mu suddenly grabbed Fang Cheng and said, Wait a minute. What's wrong? After the contract is signed, the taming value between beast girls can be shared, right? Fang Cheng nodded. Generally, 50% can be shared. My contract is stronger, but I don't know how much can be shared. It doesn't matter, as long as it can be shared, I want to take a gamble. Are you sure you want to take a gamble? Yeah, sure. But even if you win the bet, you only share 50%. It's okay, I'll try my best. Have you asked Xiaoxi if she is willing to gamble, and if she is willing to be my beast girl? Adults are used to making decisions for children, but Xiaoxi is no longer a child. Fang Cheng smiled and said, let's wait until we ask her. A shield that blocked the surveillance radar rose in the wilderness, and Shen Tujun was forming an alliance with someone inside. Standing in front of him were Zhu Zhanlin from the Shenqi Guild and Luo Yuankong from the Shuangguang Guild. Are you sure that we can still be the opponent of that kid if we form an alliance now? Zhu Zhanlin looked doubtful. Luo Yuankong also said, I heard that the kid now has more than 100 people around him, and they are all D-level teams. With just our number of people, I guess it's not enough for him to fill his teeth, right? Shen Tujun smiled slightly and said with a wise tone, in order to get involved in the underworld, in addition to your own strength, your background is also very important, even more important than your own strength. What's the meaning? We definitely can't beat him in a head-on fight, but don't forget that you two represent the Shenqi Guild, one represents the Shuangguang Guild, and I represent the Shentu family. If someone in Yucheng offends all three of us, do you think he can still survive? Zhu Zhanlin said, but that guy has the Lingqi Guild behind him. At this time, Luo Yuankong reacted and rolled his eyes at Zhu Zhanlin. What a pig brain, Fang Cheng, that fool has the Lingqi Guild to support him, do those people around him also have it? Zhu Zhanlin was called a pig and was very angry. What do you mean by, you? Did I say something wrong? As long as the three of us stand there, the people that kid has worked so hard to recruit will flee, or at worst, they will just ignore it. Zhu Zhanlin finally realized that our alliance of three people could not compete with that kid in terms of strength, but in terms of background, that fool is not even worthy of carrying his shoes. Mr. Shen, how did you come up with this? This is exactly the Achilles heel of that fool. Shen Tujun smiled disdainfully. It doesn't matter how I came up with this. What matters is that you two have no objection now, right? No problem, of course no problem. When do we start? I think, the sooner we act, the better. The sooner we kill that fool, the better we can feel at ease. Shen Tujun looked at the two with disdain. I also want to kill that guy as soon as possible, but before killing him, don't we have to find him first? Luo Yunkong said, this is easy. Shen Xiao, you also said that who dares not to give face to our three families in Yucheng. And the boy's points are increasing now, and he will soon be in the top 100. First, we can offer a reward and mobilize everyone to find the boy for us. Second, once he enters the top 100, he will be eligible for live broadcast. Then we can go to find him directly according to the live broadcast location. Are you afraid that we can't find him? How many names does that fool have now? Luo Yuankong and Zhu Zhanlin subconsciously opened their bracelets and looked at it. Oh my god, he's already ranked 110th. If I remember correctly, that guy jumped 30 places in an hour. Shen Tujun said again. Check again, in this hour, is there any team whose ranking suddenly dropped, and it was a big drop? The two checked the rankings again and shook their heads, no. So, that guy should be hunting now, and it is at least a D-level monster, and there is a boss among these monsters. How do you know? Nonsense, no team's ranking has suddenly dropped during this period, which means that no team has been snatched by him. Then the only ones who can provide him with so many points at once are the exotic beasts above level D, and there are quite a few of them. After saying that, Shen Tujun opened the holographic map in the bracelet, and while checking the map, he said, there are many places where exotic beasts gather, but there are only a few with boss above level D. Then he pointed to a few points on the map that had been marked long ago and said, if nothing unexpected happens, the kid should be in one of these places. What if something unexpected happens? Shen Tujun glared at Zhu Zhanlin unhappily. So we will go to this place first, and when he enters the top 100, we will know where he is right away. On the other side, Fang Cheng, after a series of hunting, finally ranked 99th. The people around him were jealous. If their previous points had not been snatched by Fang Cheng, they would have been ranked in the top 50 by now, and they were still several streets ahead of their opponents in points. How could they have just ranked in the top 300 like now? But they forgot that when they were snatched by Fang Chang, they were still ranked outside the top 2000. Without Fang Chang to organize them, they would have been lucky to be ranked in the top 1000 by their personal abilities. Some have even been eliminated. Fang Chang saw the changes in everyone's mentality one by one, and it seemed that it was time to say goodbye to them. What? Disband? I don't agree to disband. You think everyone has your ability to find the stronghold of alien beasts accurately. If we kill them one by one, the points will improve our ranking. It's good enough if we don't drop. I don't agree to disband either. The competition is about to end, and you suddenly tell us to disband. What do you mean? You want to rely on your good luck and work alone, right? No way. Fang Cheng looked at everyone indifferently, with a slight smile on his face, revealing a subtle sarcasm. When I led you to work, you complained that I got too many points. After I left you, you found out that you were useless. Anyway, no matter which choice you made, you would feel that you were at a disadvantage. Okay, I was wrong just now. It's not disbanding, it's me who's going to quit. You guys can continue. You want to quit? You're dreaming. Brother Fang, if you feel that you have too many points, you can adjust it down. Why quit? We can't let you work alone. We haven't settled the score for you stealing our points. Now that you have earned enough points and entered the top 100, you want to kick all of us out. How can you get such a good deal in the world? Brother Xiao Fang, if you really feel that you are embarrassed to take too many points, you can let us take a little more. You don't have to quit. It's a joke. If you leave, who will carry the boss for everyone? How many bosses can you kill in a day without anyone carrying the boss? I have made up my mind, you don't need to say anything. You really have no room for negotiation. No. Seeing Fang Chang's decisive answer, everyone was very angry. Should we snatch this kid's points? With his points, we can at least be in the top 50. But Fang Chang's strength is there, and everyone has seen it during this period. Not to mention fighting alone, even if 10 people come together, they are not his opponent. If everyone comes together, they can snatch his points, and then everyone will get a little, and they can move up 4 or 5 places, but who will take the lead? Whoever takes the lead is worried that he will be used by others, so more than 100 people can only watch him leave with his beast girl. For Fang Cheng, Mu Yunxi has been sent back to the city, and he has no burden now. If these guys really don't know what's good for them and dare to come up to snatch his points, he doesn't mind snatching all their points. In this way, even if you can't rank first, at least you can be in the top 3. It's a pity to give these people a chance. These people are useless. Now they hate me to death, but no one dares to do it. It's really disappointing. You're leaving now. Did you tell me? Did I agree to let you go? Shen Tujun appeared in front of Fang Cheng with Su Yaqi and 20 mercenaries. Then Zhu Zhanlin and Luo Yuankong also appeared around Fang Cheng with their men, forming a triangle to surround Fang Cheng and everyone else. About half a day ago, Shen Tujun had guessed Fang Cheng's location through Fang Cheng's live broadcast. Because they were well prepared, they arrived here in less than half an hour and witnessed everything that had just happened. Fang Cheng is actually going to break up with those people, is he an idiot? Luo Yuankong asked with a puzzled look on his face. Shen Tujun was also confused. With so many free laborers, he actually wanted to work alone. But if you say Fang Cheng is an idiot, he would definitely believe it before, but since he was cheated by Fang Cheng once, he would never believe Fang Cheng is an idiot even if he was beaten to death. I don't know if he is an idiot, but it is an opportunity for us, what do you think? Shen Tujun finished speaking and looked at Luo Yuankong and Zhu Zhanlin. Zhu Zhanlin scratched his head with a confused look on his face, what opportunity? Hearing this, Luo Yuankong rolled his eyes in disdain, idiot doesn't understand this. Fang Cheng, that idiot, hates those people for holding him back, and now he wants to leave those people and work alone, isn't this destroying his own martial arts? Zhu Zhanlin's eyes lit up. Oh, I understand, when he had a group of helpers, we would be afraid of his helpers, but now he is the only one left, can't we kill him however we want? You understand now, then we don't need to form an alliance. Now Fang Cheng is the only one left. Our Shinchi guild can deal with him by ourselves. Okay, then go ahead. Luo Yuankong looked at Alan Chu as if he were an idiot. Wait a minute, I have a better idea. Shintu Jun said, maybe we don't even have to do it ourselves to kill that fool Fang Cheng. What idea? Shintu Jun smiled and said, the reason why the three of us formed an alliance is because our background is strong enough. No one in Yucheng dares not to give us face, right? Next, before, we only thought about using the power behind us to intimidate others and let them watch us deal with that fool. But now the situation is different. Fang Cheng wants to work alone, which has obviously caused dissatisfaction among those people. Hearing this, Luo Yuankong's eyes lit up. I understand, you want them to fight each other, and we will watch the show from the sidelines. Shintu Jun gave Luo Yuankong a thumbs up and flattered. Brother Luo is really resourceful and understands everything. Luo Yuankong smiled and said, no, compared to your insidiousness, I am far behind. Zhu Zhonglin said unhappily. Okay, stop flattering each other, what should we do specifically? If you don't come up with a set of rules, that kid will leave. Leave? Can that fool leave today? Shintu Jun said with a face full of resentment. Those people have wanted to get him for a long time, but no one dared to take the lead, so they let him go. We just need to add fuel to the fire now. In other words, at this time, as long as someone backs them up, they will take action immediately. The three of them discussed it and then appeared in three groups, surrounding everyone in the middle. In order to see Fang Cheng's desperate look with his own eyes, or to say that he was just simple and wanted to show off in front of Fang Cheng, Shintu Jun specially brought Su Yaki to block Fang Cheng. The sudden appearance of the three parties surprised everyone present. None of the three families, Shintu family, Shinchi Guild, and Shuangguang Guild, could afford to offend them. If they wanted to grab points, would they hand them over or not? If not, they might even lose their lives. Others dare not kill people in the arena, but the three of them dare, and they will not leave any evidence to the authorities. We must have been harmed by that fool Fang Cheng. If you wanted to leave, why didn't you leave earlier? You had to wait until you were in the top 100 before you remembered to leave. Being in the top 100 means you are eligible to be broadcast live, but in fact it is a disguised way of leaking your whereabouts. The points we have must have made these guys jealous. They couldn't find us normally, but now that Fang Cheng has sold us all out. I really want to eat his flesh and peel his skin. Not long ago, when Fang Cheng led them to collect points, they still called him Little Brother Fang, affectionately, and some people even started to call Fang Cheng Big Brother. But the good brothers and big brothers who used to be good brothers suddenly became mortal enemies. This also made Fang Cheng feel free to collect points from them next time. Shintu Jun would be happy as long as he could see Fang Cheng in trouble. For this reason, he also asked Luo Yuankong and Zhu Zhonglin to turn off the jammer. The purpose was to let everyone see Fang Cheng being humiliated through the live broadcast of the game, so that he could lose face completely. As for turning off the jammer, he could not avoid official surveillance and could not kill people. Shintu Jun had his plan, which was actually simple, that is, to humiliate him first and then kill him without delay. If he could only humiliate him secretly, he would not be able to get rid of the bad breath in his heart. To put it bluntly, it would be difficult to kill Fang Cheng directly, and it would be difficult to eliminate the hatred in his heart. When he stopped Fang Cheng, the next thing to do was to dispel the doubts of Fang Cheng's former teammates. After all, after the alliance between the Shintu family, the Shinchi Guild and the Shuangguang Guild, they were the overlords in this arena. While instigating them to fight Fang Cheng, it is inevitable that some people would think that they were the mantis catching the cicada, and they would catch the oriole behind them. Shintu Jun took Su Yaki's hand and said to Fang Cheng didn't expect that we would meet again so soon. In Shintu Jun's heart, Su Yaki is Fang Cheng's white moonlight, but now she has become his beastly mother. That fool must be very angry. Have we met before? Fang Cheng said coldly. What Shen Tujun wanted to say next was instantly stuck in his throat by Fang Cheng's words. Yes, he had met him, but he hadn't met him before. Seeing Shen Tujun coming, Su Yaki was stumped by Fang Cheng's question. She cursed him in her heart as a waste. It was okay that he was not as strong as others, but now he was even talking nonsense and was stumped by others' questions. Su Yaki rolled her eyes, but she still had to make intimate movements with Shen Tujun to show Fang Cheng how well she was doing now. Fang Cheng, I told you that I would make you regret it. Do you remember? I remember, but what you said made me regret it. Could it be because you found another rich man? Then I can only say that your vision is getting worse and worse. Go see a doctor when you have a chance, and check your brain by the way. Shen Tu-jun's face darkened instantly. What do you mean her vision is getting worse and worse? I am the 8th young master of the Shen Tu family, and you, a mud-legged man from the slums, are not even worthy of licking my shoes. Su Yaki was stunned for a moment. She was also very angry with Fang Cheng in her heart, but not because of Fang Cheng's words, but because of Fang Cheng's reaction. She and Shen Tu-jun are almost sticking together, aren't you jealous at all? Am I really that unbearable in your eyes? Suddenly Su Yaki laughed. My vision is getting worse and worse. Are you saying that Shen Tu-jun is not as good as you? Don't be so self-indulgent. Do you want to ask everyone, with your poor appearance, you are not even qualified to lick my Junjun's shoes? You ask the wrong person. Your Junjun may have that hobby, but I don't have this quirk. Fang Cheng's words undoubtedly stepped on Shen Tu-jun's tail. He shook off Su Yaki, pointed at Fang Cheng and said angrily, "Shut up, if you dare to talk nonsense again, believe it or not, I will skin you alive." Fang Cheng smiled coldly. Why are you so excited? Do you think I can be right about what I said casually? The other people also had strange expressions. It was said that rich people have some quirks. Shen Tu-jun would not really have this hobby, right? Seeing everyone whispering to each other, Shen Tu-jun couldn't hold it anymore. I think you are looking for death. After that, he was about to order the mercenaries behind him to take action, but was stopped by Su Yaki. This waste is really incapable of doing things and more of a hindrance. He was so angry at Fang Cheng's words that he became mentally confused and completely forgot the purpose of their visit today. My dear, calm down. Su Yaki held Shen Tu-jun tightly, and kept winking at him. If you kill him now, you will not end up well either. Isn't this giving him an easy chance? You have already asked people to turn off all the blockers. You said such things in front of Guang Guang. Is there something wrong with your brain? Shen Tu-jun finally reacted, but he couldn't swallow the anger in his heart. Even if he killed the guy in front of the officials, what would happen? Will the Lingqi Guild fight to the death with the Shen Tu family for a dead genius? As for the officials, what if they arrested me? My family has plenty of money. When the storm is over, they will still let me out. Su Yaki saw that this guy had completely made a fool of himself, and was too lazy to talk to him anymore. She turned to the former teammates of the other party and said, "Do you want to keep your points?" Everyone was stunned, and then everyone had a look of grief on their faces. I knew they were here for my points. But Su Yaki suddenly said in a fierce voice at this time, "Speak. Do you want to keep your points? Who doesn't want to keep their points? Are you willing to let us go?" Su Yaki sneered. Of course, but the premise is. Su Yaki pointed at Fang Cheng and said, "The premise is that you must take all the points from this fool, otherwise none of you will be able to leave with any points today." Real nonsense. Do you think I'm telling a lie now? But can you make the decision? Not only your Shentu family is present, but also the Shenqi Guild and the Shuangguang Guild. At this time, Luo Yunkong stood up and said, "We can give the Shentu family a favor, but only this time." Zhu Zhonglin also stood up and said, "We must give the Shentu family a favor. Whether you can seize this opportunity depends on you." Everyone looked at each other. Aren't you afraid that they are taking advantage of us? I don't think so. Look how angry Shentu Jun is. I don't think this is acting. Let's do it. Fang Cheng is not a good guy anyway. The next moment, everyone took out their knives and held them in their hands. Fang Cheng, you were the first to be unkind, so you can't blame us for being unjust now. Fang Cheng looked at these ungrateful people indifferently. My points are not so easy to grab, you have to think about it carefully. Why are you still talking to him? He asked for this. That's right, even if he can take all our points, he can only take half of them. The implication is that if Shen Tujun and the two major guilds take them away, it will not be half of it. Do it. Someone rushed over with a knife in hand. As soon as he ran out, he was shot by Teacher Mew with an arrow and flew backwards, vomiting blood. When everyone saw this, they were stunned for a moment, and then they rushed forward as if they had been injected with chicken blood. Fang Cheng and his beast mother were powerful, but no matter how powerful they were, could they knock down so many people? After Teacher Mew released the thorn vines to entangle them, Fang Cheng also rushed in front of these people, raised his hand and made a thunder slash. The dazzling lightning was like a long whip, swung out from the long knife, and whipped a piece of it. Don't think that the people he is facing now are all D-level beast masters like him. No one could stand up to his sword. At the same time, the thorn vines released by Teacher Mew seemed to have metal flowing in the vines, emitting a mysterious metallic glow, and the thorns on them flashed cold light like steel needles. Once bound by it, the defense of the battle suit below D will be broken instantly, and it will shrink every 2 seconds, just like pulling out a knife and stabbing it again. If one stab doesn't go in, stab a few more times and one of them will definitely go in. It's just that the thorns are too thin and can't kill people in one stab. It takes about 20 to 30 seconds to make these people lose their combat effectiveness. He actually awakened the lightning ability. Su Yaqi couldn't believe her eyes when she saw Fang Cheng's thunder slash. Tang Li and Wu Zhang, who were watching the live broadcast, were also unbelievable. Chapter 71. When did that boy awaken his lightning ability? Why didn't you tell me, wife? Tang Li was speechless after being asked by Wu Zhang. You ask me, who should I ask? Suddenly she remembered that last time, Lan Xiao told her that the boy had chosen 2 lightning skills. So, the boy really didn't lie at the beginning. He really awakened his lightning ability with only a B-level crystal. Isn't this boy's luck too good? If I tell you that the kid used the B-grade crystal we gave him to awaken his lightning abilities, would you believe me? B-grade crystals can awaken superpowers. Do you believe what my wife said? I didn't believe it before, but now I do. Wu Zhang was speechless. Of course, the lightning flash that the boy just used when he performed the thunder slash was the awakening of the lightning ability, wasn't it? That kid's luck is so good that I'm speechless. Old Wu, did you notice that the thorn vines released by the beast girl of that boy are also a little abnormal? Wu Zhang took a closer look and nodded. It is a little abnormal. It seems that it has been upgraded to level 2. Under normal circumstances, with her talent, she should at least upgrade this skill to level 5 to break through the D-level battle suit so easily. It seems that boy has a lot of secrets. Wu Zhang said with a smile. It's normal to have secrets. Who doesn't have secrets? You, put away your curiosity and don't ask. Do you think I'm the kind of person who doesn't know what's good for him? Wu Zhang smiled lightly and pointed at the holographic screen in front of him and said, if you want to talk about weirdness, Fang Cheng himself is the biggest weirdness. Did you notice that he has no defense at all and has been attacking all the time? Isn't this what all crazy sword techniques are like? The crazy sword skill is indeed about attacking instead of defending, but he is not a fool. Especially in the situation like this, where one person is fighting against a group of people, how can he not defend? Look at that kid, how many times has he been stabbed? But even now, he is like nothing happened, not affected at all. Tang Li carefully looked at the live broadcast screen, and suddenly worriedly said, will he be okay if he continues like this? Wu Zhang shook his head. No, that kid's recovery ability is beyond ordinary people, and his defense is also good. Those people can't do any fatal damage to him. But this must be painful, right? Pain. When you're fighting hard, are you still crying out in pain? But what if he accidentally kills someone? Wu Zhang said disdainfully. So many people are bullying him, and they are all on the same level as him. Even if he kills someone, it is self-defense. In the city lord's mansion, Zhou Zhanyang had just come back from the toilet when he heard Yu Jianming yelling at him, hurry up, old Zhou, if you don't come and watch, the show will be over. What good show has excited you so much? Zhou Zhanyang came over and was stunned. In the live broadcast, people were lying on the ground in all directions, and the murderer was still there with a knife, killing people indiscriminately. This is that kid Fang Cheng. Yes, I just found out today that this crazy sword skill is a perfect match with Thunder Slash. If he is given a powerful sword, I think everyone present will be torn into pieces by him. And that kid's beast mother, squeak squeak squeak, the cooperation between the two is simply perfect, not like a newly debuted Beastmaster at all. Without more than 10 years of fighting side by side, it is impossible to play such a cooperation between the two of them. No one died, right? Not yet, but a lot of them have been wasted. Zhou Zhanyang sat down on the chair, and said tremblingly, in this case, even if 1 or 2 people are killed, it should be considered as legitimate defense, right? This is a live broadcast, and I don't know how many people are watching. Whether it is the rules of the competition or the laws of the dragon country, killing is prohibited. If Fang Cheng really killed someone during the live broadcast, it would inevitably cause him some trouble. This, Yu Jianming touched his chin, looking embarrassed. Zhou Zhanyang was not happy. What's this and that? So many people are bullying him, and he doesn't fight back. Is he waiting to be torn into pieces? Besides, in this kind of chaos, can you guarantee that you won't kill someone accidentally? Hey, Lao Zhou, don't be so excited. I didn't say you can't. But if you can avoid killing him, try not to. After all, so many people are watching. I can't just pretend nothing happened and still commend him, right? In the cold field, whether it was Shen Tujun or Luo Yuankong, everyone was numb. 1 against 100, and he could still chop down all of them within 10 minutes. Is he still a human being? It was not until this moment that Shen Tujun realized how big the gap was between himself and Fang Cheng. At this moment, his body was shaking with fear. It was too terrifying. If you can avoid offending such a person, you must not offend him. But once you offend him, you must kill him at all costs, otherwise he will kill you sooner or later. However, Su Yaki beside him, after being angry and shocked, is now completely stunned. Her eyes were now filled with Fang Cheng's figure. His fearless aura and courageous attitude made her heart beat violently. Her lips unconsciously opened slightly, as if she had forgotten to breathe. Her whole body seemed to be frozen, staring blankly. Her cheeks gradually turned red, and her eyes flashed with obsession and admiration, which was an unspeakable emotion. It was not until Fang Cheng sheathed the knife that she woke up from her dream, but she still couldn't take her eyes off him. Didn't she want him to regret it? Why did it seem like she was the one regretting it now? Luo Yuankong and Zhu Zhanlin were both surprised. At that time, he finally understood why the president was willing to break up with the Lingqi guild and get that kid into his own guild. He is only at D level, but he is already so terrifying. If he reaches S level, no. I am afraid that as long as he reaches a level, he will be invincible in the whole Yucheng. To be honest, Hao Feizheng threatened Zuo Shaolin when he couldn't win him over. It was really a bad move. Why don't those two guys die? Why do you threaten such a fierce man? Others say that it is never too late for a gentleman to take revenge, but that may be because of incompetence. But if he talks about revenge, then he is simply. We don't have to wait 10 years, in less than a year, he will be able to wipe out the entire guild. It's impossible not to offend him now, so the right thing to do is to kill him before he has the strength to wipe out the entire guild. Due to the rules of the game, only half of the points of more than 100 people can be taken. But with this half, Fang Cheng's ranking instantly jumped from 99th to the top. Honestly, he really has to thank these idiots for giving him the opportunity to take points, otherwise, with his personality and everyone being so familiar with each other, he would really be embarrassed to do it. We can't let that guy get away, quick. Take action before he recovers. With Shen Tujun's loud shout, Luo Yuankong and Zhu Zhanlin also reacted instantly. Fang Cheng was a very fierce guy. If he was in his prime, the two groups of people from the Shenqi Guild and the Shuangguang Guild would probably not be his opponent. The only ones who could beat him were probably the 20 mercenaries brought by Shen Tujun, but even if they won, it would probably be a miserable victory. But it was different now. The guy had just killed more than 100 people. Whether it was strength or energy, he had not recovered yet, and he was also injured. This was a good opportunity to kill him. The young man was so angry that he was about to die. At this moment, all the people watching the live broadcast outside the venue stood up at once. Fang Cheng just killed everyone, shocking everyone and also winning him a lot of fans. Shameless, too shameless, how can Shen Tujun and Luo Yuankong be so shameless? Do you have any bottom line? What kind of ability is it to take advantage of others' misfortune? I despise you. What kind of person is this? He knew it was a live broadcast, but he dared to take advantage of others' misfortune so blatantly. He must be condemned. How can a person be like this? It's too much. I feel sorry for Fang Cheng. You actually did this to my beloved Fang Cheng. It's simply unjust. In the arena, almost the moment Shen Tujun's words fell, the mercenaries behind him killed him. At the beginning, Shen Tujun's father Shen Tuao, after learning the whole story, must not let Fang Cheng live, so the purpose of hiring this group of mercenaries was to let them kill Fang Cheng at all costs. As for helping his son win the championship in the competition, it was just a side job to cover up. As soon as Fang Cheng fought with these mercenaries, his heart sank. They were mercenaries who had been walking on the edge of life and death for many years. Compared with the previous opponents, they were nothing. Not only were their moves tricky and unexpected, but more importantly, every move and style of theirs was filled with a kind of momentum that made people feel cold all over, which made him unable to display his skills. If he fought alone, he might still have the strength to fight, but the problem was that he was fighting 20 people now, and there was no chance of winning at all. At the same time, Luo Yuankong and Zhu Zhanlin also brought dozens of people to kill from behind. Mu Yao, who was responsible for support on the periphery, could not display her skills at all. The thorn vines on this side had just been released, and the enemy on the other side had already killed her. She had to help herself maintain the thorn vines around her to help her share the firepower, and at the same time she had to avoid the siege of Zhu Zhanlin and Luo Yunkong. In just a short moment, she had been stabbed several times. The two sides had been fighting for less than a minute when Fang Cheng's uniform was soaked with sweat. He couldn't go on like this. In this situation, he had no chance of winning. Taking advantage of the moment when the thorn vines that protected him disappeared, Fang Cheng came to Teacher Mu in a flash, and swung a thunder slash with all his strength, forcing Luo Yuankong, Zhu Zhanlin and others to retreat as quickly as possible. Before the mercenaries came, he quickly activated the barrier generator sent by Tang Li. As the black triangle fell to the ground, a blue hemispherical shield was instantly opened. At this moment, whether it was the mercenaries flying over or the guild minions led by Luo Yuankong and Zhu Zhanlin, they were all bounced away by the shield that suddenly appeared. Teacher Mu, how are you? Mu Yao shook her head. It's okay, I can still bear it. At this time, Shen Tujun rushed out from behind and yelled at the mercenaries like crazy, what are you still standing there for? Kill them. The leading mercenary looked at him coldly, and the crazy Shen Tujun shuddered immediately. Idiot, this is an A-level particle shield. The power below A-level can't break it at all. Then, what should we do? Are you just going to watch? This kind of shield can only last for an hour at most. 1 hour. Shen Tujun's heart twitched violently, looking at Fang Cheng in the shield. What if this kid quits the competition? Fang Cheng, you coward, you can only hide in your turtle shell. I'm here now. If you have the guts, come and chop me, do you dare? After saying that, he felt a little pale and powerless, unable to arouse hatred. In order to prevent Fang Cheng from getting cold at this time, he pulled Suyaki into his arms again. Holding Suyaki, Fang Cheng smiled and said, Fang Cheng, your beloved woman, is in my arms now. How do you feel? What are you doing? Let me go. Suyaki struggled angrily. She was in a mess now. Seeing Fang Cheng in a desperate situation, she didn't know why she suddenly felt an indescribable pain in her heart. Shut up, you are my woman, you have to do whatever I tell you to do. After saying that, he slapped Suyaki hard in front of Fang Cheng. Hehe, what about Fang Cheng? Do you really want to kill me now? Fang Cheng smiled indifferently, idiot. After saying that, he disappeared from the spot in a flash. Shen Tujun was startled and thought Fang Cheng was out to mess with him. He was so scared that he quickly shrank behind the mercenary. As a result, he searched for a long time but didn't see Fang Cheng's figure. Then, that kid ran away. Shen Tujun was immediately furious, and then turned back to look at Mu Yao in the shield. Is this the man you like? You are blind to follow such a man who runs away alone when the time comes. Quote. Teacher Mu was unmoved and said, I believe Xiao Fang, no matter what he does, he has his reasons. Quote. He ran away and left you here alone. What reason does he have? Terminate the contract with him and follow me. I promise I won't do such a beastly thing. Quote. Teacher Mu is Mu Yunshi's mother. Shen Tujun has liked Mu Yunshi for so many years, how could he not know it? It is said that first love is unforgettable, and first love that is not obtained is even more difficult to let go. Shen Tujun is in this state now. If he cannot get Mu Yunshi in this life, he will not be willing to die. As long as there is a chance, or as long as he feels that the opportunity has come, he will instinctively try every means to get his beloved Bai Yugong. For example, Now, getting her mother first and then getting her will definitely be twice the result with half the effort. Teacher Mew turned sideways. Her movements were elegant and slow, but anyone could see that she did not want to have too many entanglements with that idiot now. Facing Fang Cheng's departure, she did not have the slightest impatience, but just waited quietly. Her gentle temperament made people feel pity. Chase him, the boy should not have run far. The mercenary beside Shen Tujun reminded. Shen Tujun said unhappily, chase? How to chase? In which direction to chase? To put it bluntly, he just couldn't bear to let go of Mu Yao and miss the opportunity to get Mu Yunxi. The hatred between him and Fang Cheng was because Fang Cheng was close to Mu Yunxi, and in the final analysis, it was because he liked Mu Yunxi. So between getting Mu Yunxi and killing Fang Cheng, he would definitely choose the former. However, at this moment, several circles of light suddenly lit up under Mu Yao's feet, spreading like ripples under her feet. Then the green glow rose from the circle and disappeared in front of everyone with Mu Yao. What's going on? Shen Tujun was stunned for a moment. The mercenary beside him looked at him like an idiot. Summoning, after the intermediate contract, the Beastmaster can remotely summon the Beast Girl, don't you know? What are you waiting for? Hurry up and chase. Chase? What are you chasing? Which direction are you chasing? Do you know where he is? Quote. With Fang Cheng's current strength, the lightning escape technique can escape 15 kilometers at a time. But there is a side effect, which is that the whole body will be exhausted after performing it. Fang Cheng relied on his strong recovery ability to perform lightning escape twice in a row before he fell to the ground. As soon as his energy was restored, he immediately performed the summoning technique to summon Teacher Mew. Fang Cheng, what's wrong with you? Don't scare me. Looking at Fang's eye, who was pale, Teacher Mew's heart was tightened. Fang Cheng shook his head, climbed up with the help of Teacher Mew, and then climbed onto her back. I'm fine, let's go back to the city. The two of them were very close, and the two of them were very close. When Fang Cheng left, Luo Yuankong and Zhu Zhanlin were dumbfounded. If they failed to kill Fang Cheng this time, they would most likely die next time. Shen Tujun was not afraid. They had just seen that Fang Cheng was powerful, but he had just graduated from school and was no match for those mercenaries. But what should they do now? Luo Yuankong and Zhu Zhanlin looked at each other with tacit understanding, and both saw fear in each other's eyes. What about Master Shentu now? I don't care if you die. Shen Tujun was very angry now. Not only did he let Fang Cheng run away, but he also didn't get Mu Yao. Seeing that Luo Yuankong was frustrated, Zhu Zhanlin stood up and said, Shen Tujun, what are you talking about? We are allies. How can you be called allies if you do this? I am your ally, get out. Shen Tujun glared at the two fiercely. His face was as ferocious as a distorted mask, exuding a chilling murderous aura. The 20 mercenaries behind him were Shen Tujun's courage. If they couldn't kill Fang Cheng, the dog, how could they kill the two trash in front of him? Shen Tujun was so angry that he wanted to kill people. If these two trash dared to say one more word to him, he would jump up and kill them immediately. Zhu Zhanlin and Luo Yuankong were brave men who would not suffer a loss in front of them. After being frustrated, the two of them left with their people in disgrace. When they left, they didn't forget to take a look at the barrier generator on the ground. That was a good thing, but now it was cheap for Shen Tujun, the idiot. Shen Tujun lay on the shield, looking at the barrier generator on the ground, not knowing what he was thinking. Master Shentu, what should we do next? Should we continue hunting or continue to chase Fang Cheng? Shentu Jun punched the shield, turned around and said, return to the city. Return to the city. There is another beast girl beside that boy, named Mu Yunxi. She was not with him just now, so she must be in the city. The captain of the mercenary was stunned for a moment, and then suddenly realized, you want to kidnap her and force that boy to surrender. You are really a piece of shit. I am not a piece of shit. Shentu Jun sneered. Money, do you want to make money? The captain of the mercenary sneered. Make money, why do you have money? Why not make money? Quote. Luo Yuankong, who was leaving the scene on the other side, suddenly called Zhu Zhanlin. Brother Zhu, what should we do now? Zhu Zhanlin glanced at Luo Yuankong. Everyone goes back to their own homes and finds their own mothers. What else can we do? You are willing to let Fang Cheng run away like this? Zhu Zhonglin smiled coldly. Although my surname is Zhu, I am not a pig. Get out of your mother's eggs. If you want me to be cannon fodder for you, there is no way. Luo Yuankong was disgusted by this remark as if he had eaten a fly. Usually Zhu Zhonglin looked like a stick, but he didn't expect that he was always pretending to be a pig and eating a tiger. Zhu Zhonglin smiled coldly and left with his people. Now the safest place is only in the city. Although hiding in the city can't get points, it's better than losing your life. Luo Yuankong wanted to use Zhu Zhonglin as a gun, but he didn't expect to be exposed by him. Now he stood alone in the wilderness and suddenly felt a chill on the back of his neck. He covered his neck and went back to the city. Compared to his life, the competition was nothing. At the Lingqi Guild, Wu Zhong left his office after seeing Fang successfully escape. Where are you going? Tang Li, who was still in shock, looked confused. To the bathroom. Tang Li frowned and thought that this reckless man of his could not even lie. He turned back to look at Fang Cheng on the screen and felt angry again. That barrier generator is for you to withdraw from the competition at the last minute. Don't you understand? Once you use it, your only choice is to withdraw from the competition. Not only did you not withdraw from the competition, but you also threw away the barrier generator. What will you do next time you meet that fool Shen Tujun? Wu Zhong, who was going to the bathroom on the other side, turned a corner and looked back to see that his wife did not follow him. He tapped his toes on the balcony and flew out directly. After a few moves between the high-rise buildings, he came to a bar. With a glance, he quickly found the person he was looking for, Gong Yi. She sat quietly in the slightly dim corner of the bar. With a neat short golden hair, she was as dashing as number 18 in Dragon Ball. The tight black battle suit highlighted her proud figure and showed her endless charm. She held the wine glass elegantly in one hand, her slender fingers contrasting with the transparent wall of the glass. The wine glowed with a charming color under the light. Her face was delicate and beautiful, her eyes were bright and deep, and they sparkled with a capable light. The short hair made her look particularly energetic, and she looked a little more handsome and free and easy. She drank the wine alone silently, her movements were skillful and natural, as if she had long been accustomed to such scenes. However, there was a subtle expectation in her eyes, as if she was waiting for someone special to appear. She sat there like that, her short hair swaying gently with her slight movements, exuding a unique charm, with both amorous charm and a capable and decisive temperament, becoming a beautiful scenery in the bar that was hard to ignore. Wu Zhong walked straight over, pulled out the chair opposite her, and sat opposite her. Gong Yu smiled gently, and her cherry-red lips slightly raised, drawing a graceful and charming arc. The lips were full and shiny, and under the light, they were like a ripe fruit, exuding an alluring breath. Big fool, why are you here? You watched the live broadcast of that kid just now, didn't you? Who is it? Don't give me that. Isn't the purpose of your coming here for that kid? Okay, since you have said so much, let's be frank. I want that kid, so I ask if you will give it to me. No, Wu Wu answered very straightforwardly. Huh, what did you say? Our Yucheng branch has finally found such a good seedling. Where do you want to take him? Back to the headquarters. What else? Gong Yu said as if it was a matter of course. You wish. Then why did you come to me today? It's not convenient for Shaoli and I to enter the stadium, but as a specially appointed instructor of Longguo Jing'an Division, it's convenient for you to enter. You just saw it, that kid will never give up, so I think you can help that kid at the critical moment and don't let him die in there. Gong Yu smiled coldly and leaned back on the chair. I asked you for someone but you didn't give it to me, and you still want me to go in to protect that kid, why? I didn't say I wouldn't give it to you, but not now. What do you mean? Shaoli and I are betting everything on that kid now. If you take him away now, what do you want me and Shaoli to do? Quote. Okay, how long will it take? 2 years at most. With that kid's ability, he can change the current situation of Yucheng Guild in 2 years at most. Gong Yu nodded and stretched out her hand and said, deal. By the way, let's make a written agreement, write it down in black and white, so that you don't regret it later. In the arena, Teacher Mu carried Fang Cheng on her back and ran all the way. Suddenly, Fang Cheng patted her shoulder. Yao Yao, stop for a moment. What's wrong, Xiaofang, Yao Yao, what do you think they are thinking about now? The two of them were in a state of panic, but the situation was not good. Teacher Mu shook her head blankly, but saw Fang Cheng jumped off her back, opened the bracelet, and released the holographic map of the stadium. A flashing red dot on the map was moving slowly. Fang Cheng's mouth corners slightly raised, and there was a hint of cunning in his smile. Teacher Mu looked curious. Xiao Fang, what is that? The barrier generator I left behind. Why is it moving? Without waiting for Fang Cheng to answer, Teacher Mu suddenly realized, I understand, you left it on purpose at that time. The stadium is so big, how can we find them without this thing to help? But they are very powerful. Don't worry, I will only take action when there is a chance, and I will definitely run away if there is no chance. Teacher Mu nodded. This is more like it. I am really afraid that he will do something stupid because of a momentary anger. Let's go, Teacher Mu, take me over to see. Now, but what about your injury, Xiao Fang? You forgot your beast form, but you are the immortal green deer. With you, this little injury would have healed long ago. Then Teacher Mu carried Fang Cheng and galloped all the way. Soon, on a hill, he saw Shen Tujun's team from a distance, but did not see Luo Yuankong and Zhu Zhanlin. It seems that my guess was right. They really went their separate ways. What should we do now? Go back. Fang Cheng shook his head. Go find the other two guys. Do you know where they are? I don't know, but I guess they are on their way back to the city. Teacher Mu asked curiously. How can you be so sure? Fang Cheng smiled lightly. If there were no mercenaries of Shen Tujun at that time, do you think they would be our opponents? Teacher Mu shook his head. If you could free up your hands and concentrate on dealing with them at that time, with me helping you, defeating them would definitely be a piece of cake. But now Shen Tujun doesn't want them, what do you think they should do? I understand. It's safest for them to go back to the city now. Teacher Mu, you are getting smarter and smarter. Humph, was I stupid before? Ah, Yao Yao, let's go back to the city first. Not chasing them. Chase them, but Shen Tujun is here. They must be ahead of Shen Tujun, so we should chase them in the direction of the town. There are only 3 ways back to the town from here. Excluding the way we came, there are only 2 left. Although it is a choice between 2, as long as we are fast, we can definitely catch them before they return to the city. No, Xiaofang, how do you know that the people from the Shenqi Guild and the Shuangguang Guild are ahead of Shen Tujun? It's not that simple. When I summoned you, there were at least more than 50 minutes before the shield disappeared. Now the barrier generator is in Shen Tujun's hands, which means that he left at least 50 minutes later than those 2 guys, otherwise he couldn't get the barrier generator. The 2 rushed back again, and as Fang Cheng expected, they caught Zhu Zhanlin on the road. What Fang Cheng didn't expect was that only Zhu Zhanlin, the 2 guys actually broke up. Now the enemies are extremely jealous when they meet, and there is no need to talk nonsense. When they saw it, they suddenly appeared beside Zhu Zhanlin with a flash of lightning and put the knife on his neck. At this time, the people around him, including his beast mother, reacted. Fang Fang Fang, Fang Cheng. Everyone was immediately facing a great enemy, and Zhu Zhanlin was trembling when he spoke. If you don't want him to die, get out of here. Fang Cheng, what do you want to do? You want to kill me. Killing is illegal. Fang Cheng's face was as heavy as iron, and the blade directly cut a hole on Zhu Zhanlin's neck, and Zhu Zhanlin immediately became scared. Don't do it, let's talk it over. I admit that we were wrong and shameless just now, but it's not worth it for you to kill me, right? Let them all disperse. I'm in a hurry. Okay, as long as you don't kill me, you can say anything. Do you hear me? Disperse, hurry up, do you want me to die? After catching Zhu Zhanlin, Fang Cheng and Mu Yao immediately returned to the city. At this time, those who were watching the live broadcast outside were all confused. What on earth was Fang Cheng going to do? Until Fang Cheng grabbed Zhu Zhanlin and entered the city, the live broadcast screen disappeared, and no one figured it out. Fang Cheng grabbed Zhu Zhanlin and came to the guild service station, and directly on Zhu Zhanlin's legs, he came with a knife and challenged him. After cutting his hamstrings, he threw him to the ground. The severe pain caused Zhu Zhanlin to scream heart-wrenchingly, and his whole body was soaked with sweat, as if it was covered with oil. What do you want to do? Zhu Zhanlin was really scared now. Even if Fang Cheng didn't kill him, his life would be over if he chopped off his limbs. It would even make him feel more desperate than killing him directly. Tell me, how did you kill people in the stadium without being discovered by the authorities? What do you want to do? You want to kill me. You took me back to the city, but the authorities knew it. Fang Cheng cut Zhu Zhonglin's tendons with his knife again. Tell me how you killed people in the stadium. After saying that, Fang Cheng's knife was already on Zhu Zhonglin's other arm. I'll tell you, it's a shield, which can make the area within a radius of 300 meters where you are completely disappear from the official radar. Give it to me. Zhu Zhonglin took out a square device with his only good hand and handed it to Fang Cheng. Fang Cheng took it and checked it. After confirming that it was correct, he cut the tendons of Zhu Zhonglin's other hand with a knife, and then threw him to the street to fend for himself. Kill him, I really want to kill him, but what this guy said is right, he was caught by me in the town, everyone saw it, it's not convenient to do it. But Luo Yuankong outside the city didn't have such a good life. There are 3 ways back to the city, Fang Cheng has taken 2 of them now, and only the last one is left. It's not easy to find Luo Yuankong. After turning on the shield, Fang Cheng and Teacher Mu disappeared from the official radar and appeared in front of Luo Yuankong without anyone noticing. Fang Cheng. The Shuangguang Guild led by Luo Yuankong immediately felt like they were facing a great enemy. Fang Cheng was too lazy to talk nonsense with them. He rushed in and killed them randomly. This time, he really killed them with a knife. With the full cooperation of Teacher Mu, in less than half an hour, more than 20 people from Shuangguang Guild, including Luo Yuankong, were all killed by Fang Cheng. The strong and pungent smell of blood in the air surged like a tide. Fang Cheng stood in the center of the blood, his body trembling slightly, and his stomach churning. He was extremely uncomfortable with the smell for the first time killing people. Looking at the pool of blood in front of him, those bodies lying in all directions filled his heart with complex emotions. He tried to breathe deeply to get rid of the suffocating bloody smell, but the smell seemed to follow him like a shadow. The discomfort in his stomach became more and more intense. He covered his mouth and tried hard not to vomit. However, when he thought that he and Teacher Mu almost died at the hands of these people just a few minutes ago, a sense of joy after revenge gradually spread in his heart. Looking back at Teacher Mu, he found that she had already vomited. Teacher Mu was his concern, and his discomfort instantly disappeared. He hurried over, stroking Teacher Mu's back and comforting her. Are you okay? It's okay, just let me vomit a little more. Do you regret it? Kill people with me. Teacher Mu suddenly stopped vomiting, looked at Fang Cheng seriously and said, I don't regret it, really. I am your beast girl and your woman. No matter what you ask me to do, I will listen to you and will never regret it. The sun shines on the streets, and Mu Yunxi strolls carelessly on the street. The long black hair like a waterfall flutters gently in the breeze, the white skin is as delicate as mud and fat jade, and the delicate facial features seem to be a masterpiece carefully carved by God, especially the pair of clear eyes like lake water, which are smart and tender. She seems to be walking aimlessly, but she always thinks of Fang Cheng in her heart. Whenever she thinks of him, Mu Yunxi's face will unconsciously show a faint blush, which is the shyness brought by the secret love hidden in her heart. A sweet and melancholy smile appears at the corner of her mouth from time to time. Suddenly, for some reason, perhaps it was a blessing, she suddenly thought of a very important question. I am unrequited love, Fang Cheng, that guy, seems to have never liked me. Just then, her eyes darkened, and a figure blocked her way. Mu Yunxi subconsciously wanted to get out of the way, but heard the man said, Are you Mu Yunxi? Who are you? Someone asked me to give you this letter. After saying that, he didn't give her a chance to refuse at all, and directly stuffed the letter into her hand. Mu Yunxi felt puzzled. What era is it? There are still people writing letters. But when she opened the letter, she was struck by lightning in an instant. Her mother and Fang Cheng were kidnapped. Under a hill outside the town, Shen Tujun brought a group of mercenaries, waiting for Mu Yunxi to fall into the trap. Such a cheap scam, Mu Yunxi shouldn't be fooled, right? Su Yaki sat on the stone, looking at Shen Tujun's back, and said thoughtfully. I don't know when it started, she suddenly didn't want to see Mu Yunxi, and she couldn't help but hope that she wouldn't come. Shen Tujun looked back at the mercenaries who were setting up tents in the distance, and then set his eyes on Su Yaki. The latter stretched out her hand to touch her ankle, which made him feel itchy. Are you tired? Suyaki touched her ankle and said meaningfully, do you want to come over and rub it for me? Shen Tujun smiled slightly, I'm willing to serve you. After that, he came over, squatted in front of Suyaki, and carefully placed her feet on his legs. The jade feet in high heels were delicate and charming. In his eyes, the slender ankles were as beautiful as works of art, and the smooth battle clothes, set off by high heels, exuded an itchy luster. Shen Tujun's fingers slowly rubbed her feet, feeling the unique touch, and an evil possessive desire surged in her heart. Suyaki raised her head slightly, and her smile showed both disdain for Shen Tujun and a bit of cunning and complacency. You haven't answered what I just said. After saying that, she wanted to pull her feet back from Shen Tujun's hands. But Shen Tujun grabbed her and said without raising his head, what are you talking about? I don't think that woman Mu Yunshi will be fooled, what do you think? You are wrong this time, she will definitely be fooled. Why? Care makes you confused. The more you care about someone in danger, the less time you have to think. This has nothing to do with IQ, it's the human heart. You know a lot. Suyaki supported her chin with her hand, looking at the top of Shen Tujun's head, and a complex emotion inexplicably rose in her heart, which was completely different from her appearance. Easy and comfortable. What are you going to do when she comes? Of course, I'll use her as bait to lure out that Fang Chang. Really, don't you want to do something else with her? How dare I do that when you're here? Am I that scary in your heart? Shen Tujun picked up her foot, sniffed it in front of her, and laughed shamelessly. In my heart, you are a demon that makes me tremble. Really? Then how about I just let this matter go? Shen Tujun was stunned, and then the whole person seemed to suddenly wake up, leaving Suyaki, and stood up and said, do you know what you are saying? Suyaki's heart tightened, and she forced a stiff smile on her face. I was just joking with you, why are you so excited? Shen Tujun said coldly, you don't regret it in your heart, do you? Regret? What do I regret? Suyaki's eyes flashed with a trace of panic. She may not have noticed it herself, but Shen Tujun saw it, and his face darkened instantly. You are childhood sweetheart. You used to look down on him because you thought he was incapable and would never make it in this life, right? But his performance today is undoubtedly proving to you that you were wrong. It is easy for him to rise to prominence, so you regret it, right? Quote. No, don't go crazy here. I'm crazy. Shen Tujun, whose face suddenly became ferocious, rushed over and grabbed Suyaki's hair and pulled it back hard. Suyaki's head was forced to lean back sharply, and she couldn't help showing a painful expression on her face and said, what do you want to do? You hurt me. Pain? Are you afraid of pain? Have you forgotten that at the party, the more you felt pain, the more you got into trouble? It's only been a few days and you've forgotten everything. Quote. Suyaki knew from the beginning that Shen Tujun had never liked her. It was a mutually beneficial transaction she had reached with him by means of means. But now she suddenly realized that for two people with completely unequal strength, it was just wishful thinking for them to use each other. In fact, she was courting disaster. Her lips trembled slightly, as if she wanted to defend herself, but she didn't know where to start. The once confident and firm eyes now became dim and confused. Regret surged into her heart like a tide, and she closed her eyes painfully. Suddenly she clenched her fists, her nails deeply embedded in her palms. Thinking of the dirty slums, the ubiquitous musty smell made her feel sick, and she was unwilling to accept it. I just want to make myself live a better life. What's wrong with me? Suddenly she opened her eyes. Although her confident eyes were a little dim at this moment, they still flashed with a light of unwillingness to admit defeat. Then she looked at Shen Tujun and smiled evilly. What are you laughing at? Shen Tujun was stunned. Do you believe that I will whip you to death later? Shen Tujun's heart twitched, and he subconsciously let her go. Suyaki tidied up her messed up hair and accidentally saw Mu Yunshi running towards this side. The person you were waiting for is here. Do your business first, and I will deal with you in the evening. Shaoqi, Suyaki smiled coldly. You are a lunatic, but I like lunatics. Shen Tujun did not apologize in the end, and Suyaki did not expect him to apologize to her. She had already recognized the reality and knew that strength was her foundation. Without strength as a support, no matter how good her skills were, it would be in vain. From now on, she wanted to be a leech, attached to Shen Tujun's body, and sucked his last drop of blood. Mu Yunshi came, and Shen Tujun had no time to care about Suyaki. Xiaoxi, you are finally willing to come to see me. Quote. Mu Yunshi glanced at Suyaki's back, then said to Shen Tujun, where are my mom and Fang Cheng? What did you do to them? Sorry, I was just joking with you, mainly because I wanted to see you so much. Joke. Mu Yunshi immediately realized that she had been fooled. You despicable. The two of them were in a mess, but the two of them were in a mess. Shen Tujun laughed, and seemed to be very happy after being scolded. He took 2 steps forward with his hands behind his back, and looked at the sunset in the sky and said, you can say whatever you want, but you have to do me a favor. Help you deal with Fang Cheng. Xiaoxi, we are really in sync. You guessed it before I said it. Shen Tujun laughed shamelessly. Don't even think about it. Mu Yunshi squeezed out these words from her teeth, her voice cold and firm, I can't help you deal with Fang Cheng. Are you in love with him? Shen Tujun stared at Mu Yunshi tightly, hoping to see some flaws on her face. He didn't believe it would be true. This is my business, it has nothing to do with you. After saying this, Mu Yunshi turned around subconsciously, looking like she didn't want to care about you. Seeing her like this, Shen Tujun suddenly became furious. Are you really in love with him? After saying that, he rushed over, grabbed Mu Yunshi's arm and pulled her over. Yes, I am in love with him, what's wrong? I like him, I love him, you want me to help you deal with him, I advise you to give up this idea. How can you like him? How am I inferior to that loser? Do you like him but not me? You are inferior in every way, you are not even worthy of carrying his shoes. Mu Yunshi raised her hand and broke free from Shen Tujun's hand. However, at this time, Shen Tujun could not see that the white moonlight he had been thinking about really liked Fang Cheng. Seeing Mu Yunshi break free, the feeling of grabbing nothing with one hand made him subconsciously raise his hand and slap Mu Yunshi. After hitting her, he regretted it and hurriedly stepped forward and said, I'm sorry, Xiaoxi, I didn't mean it. Mu Yunshi touched her face, which was burning with pain. Holding back the tears in her eyes, she took advantage of the moment when Shen Tujun came over and raised her leg to kick her accurately and fiercely at the point of the word, Tai. Shen Tujun felt pain in his vitals and subconsciously protected his lower body. Mu Yunshi took the opportunity to turn around and run. Shen Tujun was completely crazy now. He rushed over and grabbed her hair and pulled her back hard. Mu Yunshi screamed, and was grabbed by Shen Tujun's arms. He said with a ferocious face, Why? Why do you like that fool? How can I compare to him, you fool? Mu Yunshi used the same trick again and kicked Shen Tujun's vitals again. Taking advantage of the moment when he protected his lower body, she turned into a gusty cat and jumped out. She had only one belief now, that is, she must escape. Even if she died, she would not become a burden to Fang Cheng. Seeing that Shen Tujun could not catch up, a mercenary suddenly appeared behind her, grabbed her neck, and with a force on his hand, she fainted directly. Then he threw her in front of Shen Tujun, and said with disdain, Young master, don't play games with your beast girl in the future. You have become a weak shrimp and can't even catch a woman. After Fang Cheng comforted Teacher Mu, he stood up and began to destroy the body, and at the same time collected all the competition plates of these people. Teacher Mu, who was helping him to destroy the body, saw this and reminded him, We can't take these points, Xiao Fang. Fang Cheng smiled lightly. I know, but if we spread it out, there will definitely be a lot of people fighting for it. Do you want to put the blame on others? You can say that, but the main purpose is to give the authorities an excuse, or a step for them to step down. After all, these people are not ordinary cats and dogs. Jing'an Division must give an explanation to the Shinchi Guild, otherwise they will keep biting this matter. Teacher Mu nodded as if he understood. Okay, Yao Yao, it's time to go home. It was dark when I returned to the service station of the Lingqi Guild with Teacher Mu. Little sister Mu Yunshi. Fang Cheng called out twice, but no one responded. He couldn't help but ask Teacher Mu in confusion, where are they? It's so late, are you still playing outside? Teacher Mu smiled slightly. Okay, are you hungry? What do you want to eat? I'll make it for you. Just then He Yun ran back from outside. When she saw Fang Cheng and Teacher Mu, she was frightened as if she saw a ghost. Little sister He, are we so scary? You are back. What happened to little sister He? Yun's abnormality gave Fang Cheng a bad premonition. Little Xiao Shi was kidnapped. Fang Cheng and teacher Mu were shocked and asked quickly, who kidnapped her? When did she? Then she quickly comforted teacher Mu and said, don't panic, it's okay, I'll take care of everything. Yes, don't panic, someone has already gone to look for him. Yun said quickly. Who went to look for him? Gong Yu, the specially hired instructor of Jing'an Division. Don't worry, he's one of ours. Quote. It was a coincidence that Gong Yu saw the flustered Yun as soon as she appeared in the town this afternoon. She learned from her that Mu Yunxi was missing because Yun had agreed to make rujamo with Mu Yunxi at noon. Mu Yunxi went to the street to buy meat and she made the rujamo at home. But he had already made the rujamo and Mu Yunxi hadn't come back yet. She didn't answer the phone call, so he had to go out to look for her. Anyway, the town was not big. As a result, she couldn't find her after searching for a while, and she couldn't help wondering if something had happened. Just then she met Gong Yu, who had just arrived in the town. Gong Yu still had to doubt it when she heard this. Something must have happened. At this time, Mu Yunxi was in trouble, and it was Shen Tu's fault without any guessing. He opened the bracelet and quickly locked her location based on Mu Yunxi's competition ID, and then rushed to the foot of the hill without stopping. Shen Tu-jun, what are you doing? Quote. Shen Tu-jun held the unconscious Mu Yunxi, with an obsessed and weird look on his face, as if he was holding a rare treasure carefully. His eyes were full of greed and madness, staring straight at Mu Yunxi's face, as if he wanted to deeply imprint every contour of her in his mind. Then his mouth corners slightly raised, and before he started to act, he was frightened by Gong Yu's angry shout and almost became impotent. Instructor Gong, you, why are you here? Quote. No one who has participated in the contract training knows this instructor Gong. When everyone first saw her, they were all attracted by her beauty and secretly admired her, thinking that she was the most beautiful scenery on the training ground. However, when the training began, everything became different. She was extremely strict in training, and her serious expression made people shudder. Her sharp eyes seemed to penetrate people's souls and make people feel hairy. Anyone who wanted to take advantage of her, whether students or instructors, would often be awakened in the middle of the night after being interviewed by her alone. I don't know what kind of horrible psychological shadow she left in their hearts. In a word, she was like a rose blooming on the edge of a cliff, making people eager to get close to admire it, but afraid of the hidden danger. Gong Yu took 2 steps at a time and walked in front of him, and hugged the unconscious Mu Yunxi. What did you want to do just now? Quote. I don't want to do anything. When I saw her, she fell to the ground. I just helped her up when you came. Are you sure? Gong Yu's eyes condensed, Shen Tu-jun's heart twitched, and his legs began to retreat uncontrollably, because he was also one of those who were often woken up in the middle of the night. Just then, the mercenaries in the camp noticed the movement here and ran over quickly. As soon as they came, the captain of the mercenaries was dumbfounded. Instructor Gong. Do you know me? When you took the students of Jing'an Division to the field training, you met a few of us and almost beat us to death. Don't you remember? I can't remember, forget it, it's not important. Now I want to take this person away, do you have any objections? No objection, Instructor Gong, do you want our help? Get out of the way. After the wedding, the 2 of them had a chance to have it. As soon as Gong Yi left, all the mercenaries looked at Shen Tu-jun. Shen Tu-jun was startled. Why are you looking at me? Why did you invite her here? It would have been fine if he didn't mention this. Shen Tu-jun was furious when he mentioned this. He finally got the chance to have it with Mu Yunxi, but he almost got impotent because of the woman's fright. I recruit her. I recruit that crazy. Before Shen Tu-jun finished speaking, he was interrupted by the mercenary. Shut up, Shen Tu-jun, you want to die, don't implicate me. Another person said. She is here, I am afraid that this person can't be killed. Shen Tu-jun was immediately unhappy when he heard it. What do you mean? You took the money. We did take the money, but the contract said that we will help you win the championship, but not help you kill people. Nonsense. Who dares to write in black and white in the contract about killing people in Longguo? At this time, another mercenary said, the reputation of our mercenary group is important. Now there are less than 2 days before the end of the competition. We have to hurry up to help this kid score points. Shen Tujun saw that these people really backed off and wanted to take him hunting. He was furious and just wanted to show off his prestige as the 8th young master, but he was frightened by the other party's eyes and his heart was beating. He had to shout helplessly. You promised my father. Promise. Who can prove that we promised this? Forget it, don't talk to this loser. Hurry up and help him score points. Now the first one is Fang Chang, who has a higher score than this loser. We have to hurry up. Su Yaki, who was hiding in the tent, saw everything that had just happened. Gong Yu's eyes and words made these murderous mercenaries like scared mice. Her eyes lit up, and she seemed to have found her life goal all of a sudden. She is a woman, and I am also a woman, so why can't I be like her? Fang Cheng also thought of Shen Tujun the first time. He couldn't use the contestant's ID to directly lock a person like Gong Yu did, but he had the location given to him by the barrier generator. In order not to worry Teacher Mew, he took Teacher Mew out of the city quickly and headed straight for the nameless hill. Just after crossing a hill, he saw Gong Yu supporting Mu Yunmu coming back from a distance. That's Xiao Shi, Teacher Mew suddenly said excitedly. Fang Cheng nodded. Let's go, let's get out of the way. Xiao Fang, why should we hide? Didn't you hear what He Yun said? She is a specially hired instructor of the Jing'an division. Are you worried that she will find out what we did before? I'm not worried about that, but she showed up just after we killed someone. Isn't it too coincidental? I don't believe she's not coming for us. If she gets involved with us, we won't have a chance to kill Shen Tujun. Teacher Mew nodded. She was relieved that her daughter was fine, so she carried Fang Cheng and bypassed Gong Yu and Mu Yunxi, heading straight for the hill Fang Cheng mentioned. Yao Yao and the others have left the place. Let's go east. Okay, but have you figured out how to deal with them? I haven't figured it out yet, but from the looks of them, they seem to want to go hunting. Hunting at night. Fang Cheng stared at the map and said, their plan to use Xiaoxi to force me into a trap has failed. Now the only way to force me out of the city is to work hard on the points. For example, if we want to get the ranking to the first place overnight, if we don't want to give up the championship, we can only go out of the city to hunt. Xiao Fang, are you sure? Not sure, but we'll know if we go over and take a look. Now the mercenaries are indeed taking Shen Tujun hunting. To be precise, they have chosen a gathering place for strange beasts and are hunting them. If you want to help Shen Tujun regain the first place in less than 2 days, killing them one by one will definitely not work. You can only kill the strange beasts one by one to have a chance. When Fang Cheng and Teacher Mew approached, they saw the mercenaries chasing away the beasts. It seemed that they were planning to carry out a large-scale killing. I have an idea. Fang Cheng pointed to the map and said, we hunted around here once before. We didn't cooperate well at that time and let some beasts run away. Do you remember? I remember. These beasts have the characteristic of returning to their nests. Let's go over and help them get here. You want to use the beasts to deal with them. But there were only a few beasts we let go at the beginning. Even if we all come here, we may not be their opponents. Quote. Fang Cheng smiled lightly. It is definitely not enough to rely on the beasts alone. Don't we have me? I have prepared a big surprise for them, but I don't know if they can handle it. Teacher Mew carried Fang Cheng to the designated location, and indeed saw 5E-level beasts napping under the cliff. Yao Yao, help me control them. Oh, okay. Mew Yao wrapped a thorn vine around them and fixed all the beasts in place. Fang Cheng ran over, pried open the beast's mouth while it was roaring, took out the emergency teleporter given by Zhou Zhanyang, turned off the teleportation function, and threw it into the beast's stomach. After doing all this, he nodded to Mu Yao and said, it's okay, let them go. Quote. These strange beasts were originally the ones that escaped during the previous hunt. If they know how to escape, then it is naturally easy to drive them away. Fang Cheng slashed the ground with a thunderbolt, and the frightened beasts ran away and ran towards Shen Tujun's hunting ground. Okay, Yao Yao, let's go watch the show. Teacher Mew looked worried. Xiao Fang, are you sure these strange beasts can kill them? Otherwise, let's drive away more. Fang Cheng smiled slightly. No need, these few are enough to send all of them to heaven. Quote. The mercenaries in the hunting field surrounded a group of strange beasts, blocking them and even risking their own injuries to give them a fatal blow. It can be said that they were very worried about Shen Tujun's championship. On the other hand, Shen Tujun was sulking with Suyaki, as if he would not be able to close his eyes if he could not kill Fang Cheng this time. Suyaki was checking the ranking list, because the gap between her and Fang Cheng's points was too big. Even if these mercenaries could hunt strange beasts again, Shen Tujun, who was ranked second, would not change his ranking in a short time. But at this moment, she suddenly found that the third and fourth places had changed. Originally, they, Shuanghuang Guild and Shenqi Guild had always dominated the top three, but since Fang Cheng suddenly ranked first with a high score, the three of them also moved back one place. But now it was originally the fourth place Shuanghuang Guild dropped directly out of the top 2000, and the third place Shenqi Guild disappeared directly from the rankings. What are they doing? Suyaki suddenly thought of a possibility, and there was only one possibility, that they met Fang Cheng. The two major guilds were killed by Fang Cheng alone. In shock, her eyes gradually turned red, tears rolled in her eyes, and regret filled her face. She hated her blindness and her stupidity and short-sightedness. Yes, she finally admitted that she regretted it. She never thought that Fang Cheng, who she regarded as a loser, was actually the blue-chip stock she had always dreamed of. It turned out that God had arranged the best man to be by her side from the beginning. But she was blind and couldn't see it. What are you doing? Shen Tujun noticed her abnormality and walked over with a gloomy face. Hearing Shen Tujun's voice, Suyaki quickly calmed down. Shen Tujun was already on the verge of going crazy. If he saw her regretting at this time, she didn't know what kind of madness he would go. She was smart and quickly put the ranking list in front of Shen Tujun. Look, Shuanghuang Guild and Shenqi Guild have disappeared. Shen Tujun was really attracted by her words. His eyes subconsciously fell on the ranking list, and then he kept looking through the ranking list with an unbelievable look on his face. Like Suyaki, after learning that Shuanghuang Guild and Shenqi Guild disappeared, the first thing he thought of was that they ran into Fang Cheng. The difference was that he was unwilling to believe that Fang Cheng had such ability. Suyaki now looked at Shen Tujun as if she was looking at an idiot. Even if you don't believe that Fang Cheng had wiped them all out, is it useful to look at the rankings there? It can also be written on it, whether Fang Cheng did this or not. Suddenly Shen Tujun looked up at Suyaki, and his eyes that wanted to eat people made Suyaki's heart twitch. Do you regret it? Tell me, do you regret it now? Shen Tujun rushed over, pinched Suyaki's neck with both hands and shook it. Suyaki rolled her eyes because of his pinching. The instinct for survival made her punch and kick Shen Tujun. Suddenly, she didn't know where to kick. Shen Tujun suddenly let go of his hands, protecting his lower body and jumping there. This time Shen Tujun was more seriously injured, because Suyaki's high heels were pointed, and compared with Mu Yunshi's pure round-toed high heels, their lethality was not a little bit stronger. Shen Tujun's handsome face twisted into a liver color, with one hand protecting his lower body and the other pointing at Suyaki. Suyaki kept coughing on the side, and saw Shen Tujun and said unhappily, "Are you crazy? I want your life." Shen Tujun endured the severe pain and rushed over again. Suyaki ran away as soon as she saw him. Not long after running, she saw several strange beasts rushing out of the darkness. Suyaki was shocked and ran back again, but Shen Tujun was behind her. She gritted her teeth and rushed directly to Shen Tujun, kicked him in the air, and jumped far away on Shen Tujun's face. Before Shen Tujun could react, he was knocked away by the rushing strange beast. The mercenaries who were surrounding and killing the strange beast saw this scene, and their faces turned pale. Shen Tujun was a waste. I'm here to help you kill the strange beast with all my heart and effort, and you're staying behind and being knocked away by the strange beast. But he was the employer after all, so the mercenaries had to send a few people to rescue him. Go to hell. The mercenary grabbed Shen Tujun's collar and threw him back, while swinging his knife at the beast in front of him. Woo! When the mercenary's knife chopped into the beast's head, time seemed to stop for a moment. The mercenary who chopped the beast widened his eyes instantly. A blue energy burst out from the beast's body, reflecting on his face, making him look like a blue ghost. The next moment, 3 invisible space ripples instantly rippled out from the blue energy, like mysterious ripples spreading layer by layer in the void. Wherever they passed, the space seemed to be distorted and trembling, making a slight, sizzling sound. Then, these three space ripples intertwined and shattered, bursting out a powerful and strange force, instantly covering the entire hunting ground. Fang Cheng calculated the distance and watched all this from a distance. There are things in reality that can refer to the power of wind, fire, thunder, lightning, water, clouds and fog. This is the first time he has seen the power of space. He immediately thought that this is definitely a weapon that can kill people without paying for it. Shen Tujun was still fine when he was thrown out, but he was broken into two when he landed. No one knew how he was cut. Then the strange beasts in the distance and the mercenaries who were hunting the strange beasts were inexplicably cut in half or split in half, and some were even cut into several pieces. Seeing that everyone who could die was about to die, Fang Cheng had not seen the space flash clearly, so he quickly used the delusion-breaking spirit eye. The scene in front of him changed suddenly, and a black whirlwind appeared in the wilderness. The black ones were cuts, and there was nothing broken wherever they passed. At the same time, they collided and split each other, turning into smaller space cracks, which became smaller and smaller until they disappeared. The delusion-breaking spirit eye can see the space blade, so it was not in vain. Among the superpowers in this world, there is the space power. Although I have never seen it before, I know today. What happened? It would be a good experience for me to encounter this kind of situation in the future. After seeing all the space blades disappear, Fang Cheng was about to go down to see the results of the battle, but was stopped by Teacher Mu. Wait a minute, Xiao Fang, it must be very dangerous to go down now. It's okay, all the space blades have disappeared. Let's go. Fang Cheng took Teacher Mu to the hunting ground and went to see if these people were dead. Fang Cheng walked straight to Shen Tujun, who was still alive even though he was in two pieces. When he saw Fang Cheng, he suddenly became much more energetic. A flash of astonishment flashed in his eyes, followed by endless anger and resentment. His eyes were as big as cow eyes, staring at Fang Cheng, his teeth were clattering, and he roared with his last bit of strength. You dare to plot against me? Bah, you have a pig brain, isn't this obvious? What are you asking? I don't know where this guy got the strength from. Suddenly, he desperately crawled towards Fang Cheng. Fang Cheng slowly retreated, watching his internal organs all over the floor. Finally, when he was about to touch Fang Cheng's toes, he turned his head and took a look. The butt next to him seemed to be himself. Then he turned his head and froze on the spot. Don't look at it, you just pooped. Save me, please save me, I don't want to die yet. Fang Cheng squatted down and looked at him, smiling coldly. Okay. Really? Shen Tujun suspected that he had heard it wrong. Fang Cheng took out the number plate of Shuangguang Guild and handed it to Shen Tujun. Put these in the space in your bracelet, and I will save you. Are you so kind? Then you just wait to die here. Wait a minute. Shen Tujun quickly activated the bracelet and put all the number plates in Fang Cheng's hand into his own bracelet without leaving any, and then looked at Fang Cheng expectantly. Fang Cheng smiled slightly. Sorry, I just lied to you again. I just want to see your embarrassed look before you die. Why are you not convinced? Get up and fight me. I want to kill. Before he finished speaking, he froze. This guy's vitality is really strong. He can still talk so much nonsense even when his stomach is empty. He is comparable to Xiaoqiang. Just when Fang Cheng got up and left, he suddenly heard someone calling him. Following the sound, I saw a person lying in the bushes not far away. Who else could it be but Suyaki? She was broken into two pieces like Shen Tujun. At this moment, she crawled out of the messy bushes, with blood all behind her. Her eyes fell directly on Fang Cheng, and she looked at him infatuatedly, as if she wanted to carve Fang Cheng's appearance into the depths of her soul. Her eyes were full of regret. The originally lively eyes were now dim and filled with tears. Without blinking, the tears kept flowing down her cheeks, leaving two clear marks on her dirty face. Her lips trembled slightly, and she made an almost inaudible sound. Fang Cheng, I regret it. This made Fang Cheng, who originally wanted to go up to finish him off, hesitate for a moment and then turned away indifferently. Suyaki suddenly widened her eyes, and the regret in her eyes was instantly replaced by despair. She stretched out her hand, trying to grab the corner of Fang Cheng's clothes, but she only grabbed a piece of nothingness. Don't go. Don't go. Her voice broke in the air with tears. Her body trembled violently, as if she had lost the strength to support herself, and she collapsed to the ground. Her heart was filled with pain and sorrow. She knew that this turn would be a farewell forever, and she would never have the chance to make up for her mistakes. I destroyed it all with my own hands. I was too stupid. If there is a next life, I will never let go. Her tears flowed freely, dripping on the ground, splashing tears, as if they were her broken heart. She could only watch Fang Cheng's figure gradually go away until he disappeared, and she was imprisoned in this wilderness forever with endless regret and pain. When Fang Cheng and teacher Mu returned to the town, the streets were still very busy, probably because it was still early. But if you listen carefully, you will find that everyone is talking about one thing. The top 3 people who were originally determined by everyone are all dead this time. Have you heard about it? Those people who were originally determined to be in the top 3 in everyone's mind are all dead this time. One person said with astonishment. That's right, Shen Tujun and Shuangguang Guild have 60 or 70 people in total, and they just disappeared out of thin air. It's incredible, another person continued, his voice full of disbelief. And the only surviving Shenqi Guild is ranked outside the top 2,000. What's going on? Could it be that they encountered some extremely terrible enemy or disaster? Otherwise, how could this happen? Is it possible that they were killed by someone? Do you believe this? Who dares to provoke the Shentu family, Shuangguang Guild and Shenqi Guild in Yucheng? Do you think they can't die fast enough? Lingqi Guild. Wu Zhong and Tang Li sat there motionless for an hour. Suddenly Wu Zhong swallowed his saliva, and the two looked at each other as if they had telepathy, and then said in unison, "Do you think it was that kid who did it?" Shentu Jun and the people of Shuangguang Guild are definitely dead, but their bodies have not been found yet. It seems that no one has such a big grudge against them except Fang Cheng. After the two of them were stunned for a while, Tang Li spoke first, "Do you have any evidence?" Wu Zhong shook his head mechanically. Tang Li said angrily, "Don't talk nonsense if you don't have evidence." What do you mean by, I? Am I wrong? From now on, this matter has nothing to do with Fang Cheng. What are you talking about, my wife? It has nothing to do with it, okay. Why do you have to start from now and make it seem like it was related before? That's good to know. Let's go to the Beast Control Square and wait. I think Shen Tuao and Duan Licheng will go crazy. They will not come out until the morning of the day after tomorrow. Isn't it a bit early to wait now? Tang Li also felt that it was a bit early. Suddenly, she seemed to think of something and said, "Didn't Xiao Yu come to Yucheng? She is a specially appointed instructor of the Longguo Jing'an division. You should quickly ask him to go to the B1-1 town. Hurry up." Okay, my wife, don't get excited. I'll go find her now. By the way, what should I tell her? Others only know that Wu Zhong is brave but not wise. Who would have thought that he is also a good hand at pretending to be stupid? There was a dead silence in the meeting room of Shuangguang Guild. Their people disappeared, no need to guess, they must have been killed. Do you think it is possible that Fang Cheng did it? A manager said coldly, veins popping out on his forehead. It must be him, he must have used some despicable means, otherwise how could so many people be killed by a waste like him? Another member gritted his teeth and said, his face full of resentment. They looked at each other, and in addition to shock, there was burning anger in their eyes. The champion of each city youth competition in Yucheng used to take turns with them in the Shenqi Guild, but now this time they were completely wiped out, which was simply a great shame. Whether it was that kid who did it or not, this kid must not be kept. President Duan Licheng slammed the table, and the table cracked with a sound. His voice was filled with endless hatred and anger, as if Fang Cheng was in front of him and wanted to eat him alive. The same thing happened to the Shenqi Guild. Although not all of their people died, their ranking was suddenly ranked outside the top 2,000, which was also a great shame for them. The only difference was the Shentu family. When Shentu Jun died, the elders in the family acted as if nothing had happened. There were so many young masters in the Shentu family, and one more Shentu Jun would not be too much, and one less would not be too little. Only Shentu Hao sat in the study for a long time, then reached out and pressed a button under the desk, and an encrypted communicator rose on the table. After a while, the black screen lit up, and a big bald head with a hygienic beard appeared on the screen. Shintu sang, what happened? Why are you contacting me at this time? Inakai-kun, my son is dead. I'm really sorry, Shintu sang, you have to accept my condolences. What I want to tell you is that he was killed while performing a mission. Shintu sang, you want to talk to me about the pension at this time of night? Question mark. But your son doesn't seem to be on our list of members, but I can give you 200 yuan in consolation money in my personal name. Quote. I'm consoling you, my neighbor, and my Shintu family owes you 200 yuan. Shintu Hao was furious. Are you angry? Shintu sang. Shintu Hao's fists were clenched and the joints were shaking. After a long time, he spit out a breath of anger and said, I'm not. Inakai Wuba smiled slightly. That's good, Shintu sang. As your boss, I need to remind you not to let some personal private matters affect your work. The person who killed my son is Fang Cheng, the person I reported to you before. He seems to be more talented than what I wrote in my report. Are you fooling me to avenge your son? Shintu sang. Everything I said is true. I hired a total of 20 mercenaries for my son this time, and they all died. Are you sure? Quote. This matter will be reported soon. If you don't believe me, you can go and see for yourself. So, he should be ranked in the top 10 of the death list. What I want to say is that I no longer have the ability to kill him. If you want to assassinate him, you can find a way yourself. Don't worry, Shen Tujun. I will send someone to contact you next. Can I not involve me in this matter? Shen Tusong, you are an agent of our plaster country. You have devoted yourself to the hegemony of our plaster country. You have sworn an oath. Do you want me to help you recall your oath again? No. When will you send someone? Soon. In the office of the city lord's mansion, after a dead silence, Zhou Zhanyang suddenly stood up. What do you want to do? Yu Jianming, who was startled, looked at him with a puzzled look. Zhou Zhanyang asked back, you don't suspect that the disappearance of those people is related to Fang Cheng, right? Quote. No, how could I suspect him? I don't have any evidence, right? Don't give me that. I'm not afraid to tell you the truth. I also think he killed the person. Huh, Yu Jianming looked at Zhou Zhanyang in confusion. Old Zhou, say it again. Zhou Zhanyang smiled coldly, sat down again and said, kill him, it's no big deal. Old Zhou, are you crazy? I'm not crazy. Hurry up and transfer the people from Jing'an Division to protect that kid. I'm afraid that the kid will be in danger if we go too late. Yu Jianming looked at Zhou Zhanyang with a puzzled look. Do you seem to have me? Zhou Zhanyang did not answer but asked. I heard that the plaster country has made a plan to kill the genius of the dragon country. You are the city lord and know more than me. Do you think there is such a plan? Yu Jianming was stunned. Who did you hear it from? Just say yes or no. Quote. There really is no impenetrable wall in this world. I was wondering why you looked like you had me in your hands. It turns out you were waiting for me here. Do you also think that guy is worthy of being on the death list? Yu Jianming nodded with a heavy heart. Zhou Zhanyang suddenly shouted angrily. Then why are you still dawdling here? Why don't you send someone in to protect him? Fang Cheng and Teacher Mu came to a humble hotel in the town, and were considering whether to go in and kill people, because the people of the Shenqi Guild lived here. Why do you want to go in and kill people? Fang Cheng and Teacher Mu were stunned, and they turned around and saw Gong Yi. Why is this woman here? Teacher Mu's heart jumped, and he subconsciously hid beside Fang Cheng. Just now, they were thinking about killing people, but the specially hired instructor of Longguo Jing'an Division came. Isn't this being caught in the act? What are you talking about, beauty? What about murder? Don't say that, or I'll sue you for defamation. Teacher Mu was stunned for a moment, then realized that yes, she knew us, but we didn't know her. Gong Yu smiled coldly, stepped on her high heels, and walked elegantly to Fang Cheng, staring at Fang Cheng with a cold look. What did you just say? I can't talk nonsense, be careful or I will sue you for defamation. Killing someone to silence them is a serious crime in Longguo. Gong Yu raised her head and interrupted Fang Cheng. The previous sentence. The previous sentence. Fang Cheng thought for a moment and asked tentatively, beauty. Gong Yu smiled coldly. Just now you said that I said you killed someone to silence them, which was slandering you. Now you are teasing me, but I didn't make a false accusation, did I? Calling you a beauty is teasing, so do I have to call you miss? This lady. Shut up. Gong Yu frowned. She wanted to bully Fang Cheng because he was young and ignorant, and give him a warning first, but this kid was so slick that he didn't fall for it at all. If you want to sue me for molesting you, go ahead. I don't have time to waste with you here. After saying that, she winked at Teacher Mu and left quickly. Regardless of the fact that this woman was an instructor of the Jing'an division, she alone could bring Mu Yunxi back unscathed from the hands of 20 mercenaries. This strength was not something he could afford to provoke now. Stop, did I let you go? No, do you still want me to stay with you overnight? You, stinky boy, do you know who I am? I don't know, and I don't want to know. Do you know Lao Wu? Gong Yu's previous idea was that it would be best if she could control Fang Cheng, so that she could take the initiative between him and her in the future. But now that she saw that this boy was not easy to control, she didn't want to make things worse. To put it bluntly, she had something to ask Fang Cheng, and the cause was still because of Teacher Mu. At the same time, she herself really needs a Beastmaster now. Before this, she had been using the big data of Dragon Country to select. It was not until 2 months ago that Fang Cheng suddenly got the evaluation of passing several SSS-level dungeons, which triggered the genius warning mechanism of Dragon Country, that he appeared in her field of vision. People who can trigger this kind of warning are naturally talented. Moreover, in Dragon Country, there are many people who can trigger this mechanism every year. What really made Gong Yu interested in Fang Cheng and asked her to go to Yucheng for a field investigation was because of Teacher Mu. Through her observation of Mu Yao, whether it is the power of Mu Yao's wood-related ability or the self-healing ability she fed back to Fang Cheng, they are far from A-level beasts and can't be compared. She needs Mu Yao's healing ability because she failed to advance last time. Although she saved her life, it left her with a very serious sequelae, that is, she was dying. If she wants to survive, she must parasitize on a Beastmaster with strong vitality. Fang Cheng with Mu Yao obviously meets this condition. Of course, Fang Cheng is not the only one who can meet this condition in Dragon Country. But when she checked Mu Yao's information, she found that Mu Yao's initial beast form was an F-level exotic flower-horned deer, and the evolutionary form was an E-level sickle deer. How did Fang Cheng know that she had a hidden evolutionary form, and his hidden evolutionary form was much stronger than an A-level thorn deer? Fang Cheng's talents that were announced were all SS-level Beastmasters. How good must his Beast Mother talent be that he still needs to hide it? The answer is self-evident, only 1 in a billion EX level. Moreover, this kind of hidden talent is extremely difficult to activate, because she herself is one of them. In order to activate the hidden evolutionary form for herself, her grandfather used many activation props but failed, but Fang Cheng succeeded without using props. The only explanation is that Fang Cheng's Beastmaster talent is not SS level as Tang Li said, but EX level. Only those who awaken the X Beastmaster talent will awaken 2 Beastmaster skills. Or even 3. Or maybe he is a person with great luck, who can hit the less than 1% chance and use a simple Stardust crystal to activate the hidden bloodline of X level. He can see the hidden evolution form and activate the hidden evolution form. With the above 2 points, Fang Cheng is definitely his most ideal Beastmaster. As for his amazing growth rate and resourcefulness, that is just the passing line. After all, there are many people in Longguo who can do the latter 2 points. The only thing that made him unexpected was that this kid didn't seem to be as easy to fool as he thought. Fang Cheng looked at Gong Yu in surprise. Do you know Lao Wu? Pretend, you keep pretending for me. Gong Yu didn't believe this kid, and he still didn't know his identity. Yes, I know him. Is that strange? Fang Cheng smiled and said, what's strange to me is not that you know him, but that he knows you. It seems that Brother Wu was not bragging at the beginning. He really has a wide range of friends. For a person like him, he can actually know a beautiful woman like you. He is that kind of person. Gong Yu smiled lightly. As the saying goes, too much good words will lead to mistakes. Does old Wu know that you are talking bad about him behind his back? Fang Cheng said seriously, a man who loves his wife deeply. Since you know him, don't you know that Sister Tang is watching him closely? How can he have the chance to meet a beauty like you? Gong Yu's idea of catching him failed again, so she had to say, so do we know each other now? No, I don't even know your name. Seeing Fang Cheng still pretending to be stupid, Gong Yu silently clenched her fists, and then helplessly let go. My name is Gong Yu, what about you? Pretend, keep pretending, since you know that I know Lao Wu, you still don't know who I am. You. Gong Yu almost couldn't hold it in. This kid actually turned the tables. Who the hell has been pretending from the beginning? Okay, we know each other now, see you later. You're leaving now. That's too rude, isn't it? Fang Cheng smiled and said, I can't help it. My intuition tells me that you're too dangerous. I'd better stay away from you. After saying that, he pulled Teacher Mew away. Gong Yu stamped her feet in anger at his back. Want to run? I wonder where you can run to. After thinking about it, she followed him. Xiao Feng seems to have been following us. Don't worry about her, let's go our own way. Back to the guild service station, Gong Yu also arrived at the service station. He Yun saw the three of them coming back and hurriedly came to greet them. Instructor Gong, Fang Cheng, and Sister Mew, you're back. Gong Yu glanced at Fang Cheng in protest. Boy, aren't you curious about my identity at all? Fang Cheng ignored her eyes directly. I'm not curious at all. Then Gong Yu quickly winked at He Yun and told him who saved Mu Yunshi. Since I can't find any evidence against you, I'll do the next best thing and try to repay you with a favor. But He Yun looked confused, which made Gong Yu very anxious, so she asked, where's that girl Xiao Shi? Oh, Instructor Gong, you mean Xiao Shi. He Yun finally reacted and said to Fang Cheng, by the way, Fang Cheng, not long after you left with Sister Mew, Instructor Gong rescued Xiao Shi, did you know that? I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.